Celtic way, and now it's known as the Celtic way. We play the ball from side to side, and intervention tries to hide. But we play the ball from front to back. Attack, 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 a 67. And he's a Lisbon, the first game in the thousands. Casino would become champion on 67. And then he's a Lisbon, the first game in the thousands. Casino would become champions.
Good evening and welcome to Celtic Rumours TV, episode number 156 of the Bawz and Bovril podcast with myself, Mark. Big Jerry's ways the night for a wee while anyway, at least. I was sweating there, Jerry, man. I thought, he's not going to be here when these credits finish. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Nah, you're fine, mate. I'm here.
Terms will be coming on later on as well, and if anybody else wants to come on, I'll stick the link out in the chat once I've done the intro stuff and all that. Few shout outs to some of the lads for the forum and that. Obviously Bawz still on the injured list. Old Tim Alloy not keeping too well as well. Neither's Richie. Richie's really not doing too good at all. Need to catch up with him. I mean it's trivial to name, but I wasn't keeping too well myself last week, but that's how there wasn't a pod of that, lads. Sorry about that. I just couldn't handle it. Done it, man. I had abscess for the first half of the week, and then for the second half I had the abscess, and I ended up with this cold or flu bug, and I wasn't worth a button, so I'm sorry about that. Says they're all Malika, Welshie, Big Jabber, I don't know if Jabber's coming in, Mikey, Sean 66. Anybody, if you're not part of the forum, it's www.celticrumours.co.uk. Everybody's more than welcome out there for a bit of crack and a blather. Just it's a good wee community we've got, and the link to that and everything else, like our Discord group, that's on the description box below. Who have we got in the chat now? Your grot bags, WPM2269. Hiya, mate, Mrs. whatever gender. Yeah. Evening, Aidan. Nice to see you. Brian, is always good to see you. Brian, John Coyle, nice to see you. There's Bobby, the Montreal got in as well. Good man, Bobby. Jerry's actually to call, so maybe if there's anything wrong, maybe with the sound, but it sounds all right to me. But if there's anything wrong, make give a wee shout, and I'll try and get it sorted out. So, we'll start with, what did you think of Saturday then, Jerry? Because you were there with your wee laddie, weren't you?
Aye, okay. Get drowned, mate. Decent enough performance. You've got to give some credit to that. Bucky Thistle, the way all their fans were a credit to them. They were first class, good bunch of fans and all the rest of it. And the team tried their heart out. Obviously, it was a total mismatch, but the professional performance by Celtic again, done well. You're not expecting that mob to do anything, but they done really well. All things considered, no training and all the rest of it. Change of formation against the top team in Scotland. So, no, it was a good performance, and it was a good one. The first time my wee boy was at the game. So, even though we were soaked, it was he thoroughly enjoyed it. So that's the main thing.
Definitely. It was a good professional performance. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I see some people are betting like 8-0 and all that, but I'm like you. I actually thought Bucky Thistle turned up well. Again, they're amateurs. I mean, did
exactly.
I hear the boys saying, right, that most of them work for the engineering firm that own them or something like that? Or something, I don't know.
I've not been. They're all mean, that's the type of level of teams that the B team would be playing
That's
against.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So
Do you know what I mean?
There's massive levels. I mean, these laddies were about, well, they would have been working that weekend, but they're pulling a shift and going to train at night, and then they've all got full-time jobs. Whereas they'll be talking about that game 30, 40, 50 years from now to their grandwains. Do you know what I mean?
They ran their cell into the ground. They guys will still be sore the day for the shift they put in there.
Definitely, mate. It was. You didn't want to see them get absolutely hammered. I wouldn't want to see them get take a drubbing. I seen some of the troops had put on like massive double figure scores, but you don't want that. And as I say, their fans were an absolute credit to them. The amount of them that they brought, and the noise they kind of made as well. So, and they were in nice colours. Their fans with their flags. So, it was good. We go to rest a few of the boys as well, and bring in a couple of younger players to see what they were all about.
It's good to see Cal McGregor no coming out in a Celtic strip, but no being injured. You know what I mean? For Manson, it doesn't need for me playing games like that.
100%.
Even Plunge McNugget, evening mate. There's the Bishop in as well there. Jerry Jot there, IFP in. I'll fire the link to maybe John will come on for a wee while.
Aye, definitely. No, it was good. There is absolutely no need for him to be playing games like that. And risking it all again, but no, it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Mr. O'Riley getting a good goal and taking it well, a good performance and doing well. So we'll see what happens with him. But it was good. I enjoyed it.
What do you think is Matt O'Riley talk?
Well, if it was me, you're knocking it back straight away because you're going to get that money for him in the summer if you're looking to sell him. What's on offer for us is, I mean, we've got this. We're going for the league and try to get in this new Champions League, but it's a massive pull for him. I don't think money's he's got. I think he's an ambitious guy. He's level-headed, but Atletico Madrid, it's a big decision for him. It's a massive decision for him, and I think it'll come down to what he wants as well. But you can never say never when we our board getting an offer like that, Matt. That's the problem. But
I've not actually seen any kind of mention of an actual fee.
Nah, well, this is the thing.
And see, I'll be honest. I'm going to say this. See, unless it's an absolutely astronomical fee, I think Celtic will just turn it down straight down. I don't think they'll even entertain anything.
You'd be hoping to do that. It doesn't make sense at all for us to sell our best player at this stage.
But that's the thing. We're not even selling them. They're talking about a loan for 6 months just to help them out with their financial fair play regs and that. No chance.
No,
I don't think. I think it's an absolute non-starter.
I wouldn't be surprised, but it's when it comes down to, I mean, we've got 10, 11 days left of this window anyway. So for us to try and even get a replacement, but we think that Bernardo, Hatate and McGregor would have enough in the tank there.
Bobby saying they're talking 20 million this summer. No chance, do you know what I mean? Well, they're taking on loan for 6 months and gives 20 million in the summer. If it was 50 million in the summer, I'd maybe think about it. You all right? How you going, John? You all right, bud?
Aye, can you hear me?
Aye, can hear you, John. Aye.
How's things, all right?
Aye, good bud. Evening, Dr. Strangelove. Nice to see you in, mate. Nice to see you.
I don't. Ideally, well, I think there'd be uproar if the board accepted the money. And I don't think O'Reilly's the type of person that would upset the apple cart and cause problems if they had to knock it back. So
he'll still get a move. If he's looking to leave Celtic, he'd be as well probably just waiting till somebody. His agent now will tell him that as well. Because I think he'll get a hell of a lot more offers come the summer.
Oh, definitely. I think that's probably one of the reasons Atletico would maybe want him now. Because they know in the summer there's going to be a bigger pool of clubs looking at him and wanting him. So he's a fantastic footballer, and we need to enjoy him. But while he's here, but we were hoping to try and keep that midfield together for at least another season and see what happens. Because we've still got a few years left in his deal regardless. So we're in the stronger position.
He just can't be allowed to go.
Would you trust our board to make the decisions?
Do I trust the board not to sell him?
Aye.
Oh no, as far as I could throw you, Jerry. You know, you watch. He's been your best player this season, even against Buckfast Thistle. There, you think he makes a, he plays that pass for Bernardo as well, and then he has that 1-2 with home.
Yep.
For the second goal, he's I don't know, he's at a different level. Obviously, Bernardo looks like in time that he could potentially fill his boots, but I mean, it's bad enough that that we're sitting here in day 24.
Yep.
With very little in the door, and certainly not in any of the areas that we're all looking for. With it, he's talking about losing O'Riley. That's incredible that we would. No, I think they would. The money would need to be crazy money. Somebody would need to.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said, John. Yeah, I said if it's a loan to buy, I think it's got to be for like 40-50 million.
It would need to be something. It would need to be something that was comparable with the sum that you'd be compromising, securing if you win the league would be, which would be the Champions League bonanza. It would need to be something akin to that. For you, even if they come in and said, right, it's 50 million, you'd say, okay, that's fair dues, that's a lot of money. But 25 million, no chance, absolutely no chance. Should the Celtic board even be speaking to them?
I'm putting down the 20th in these job sheets. I didn't realise it's the 23rd, John. Thanks for saying it's the
24th. 24th.
Was it 24th? Oh, I'm putting the 20th. So in these job sheets, so I'll need to change them all.
You've also got the Abada story Rumours kicking about there as well. I thought as soon as Project Plus was brought in, as Kuhn was brought in, I thought, you know, there's something. Why be bringing in a winger again? And saying that, we've said repeatedly that Celtic's recruitment is like Ryan Christie's shooting. You wouldn't know. We shouldn't be surprised anymore. But what about goalkeeper, striker, left back? Are they not getting here?
Well, that was the thing, John. I was saying that as well. I mean, the right wingers know exactly somewhere where we're needing. It's a left back and striker, the two positions. Striker, left back, you're looking for the first two positions to get filled. Unless further forward. Unless
they know something about Abada that they're not telling us yet.
Well, there's that. But we're still. It's still wild that we've not even linked with a striker or a left. Well, the left back links have went quiet.
I don't think. I said on the post. I don't think the reason that they're silencing the window, I don't think it's because the window's triple glazed and everybody's keeping stum either side. I just think there's genuinely nothing happening. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong. At least as far as a striker goes.
Aye.
Seemingly, Rogers got a bit of a reaction at after the Bucky press conference when I think one of the reporters had said to him that the boy at Liverpool had come on, the left back.
Aye.
And he felt as if, well, that's if you trust it, the mainstream media tells you anyway, that they looked as if it had kind of caught Rogers, So whether there's actually something with that, and it's not, it means, I mean, that's obviously a dead duck now because he can't play for 3 clubs.
Well, Mark, didn't you?
I don't think there was a Chief Celtic did have interest. I don't think there was any chances getting him this window, John, just for a simple fact. His injury problems in that Liverpool had. And that one of Liverpool heads, it was him that was saying to me about it, I asked him about it, and I thought, what if he's brought him back to sell him? And it was him that said about the first choice and second choice left back was injured, and I think he said they were playing that Gomez or something at left back. Don't quote me on that, but I didn't think there was any chances getting him in this window. I really didn't.
Yep. You had said that, Mark, that there was no chance of Boybeck. I'd said that as well in that forum. There was no chat. A few of the boys were bumping and moaning when he got brought on, saying, that's him. But I don't think we were ever in for him this window.
Just on that, I see Kamala. Me and Jabber were talking about him last night. Patrick Kamala, the Polish striker, was saying he was playing over in Israel. I mean, it all kicked off over there. He bolted out the country and negotiated that he's released for his contract. And he's went and signed for a Polish team, but he can't play for them next season.
Aye.
There's just no figure that somebody can put on the table for Matt O'Riley just now that would make any sense. You think you're still, if you hold him at the summertime, right, you're still going to get 25 million from him, aren't you?
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you hold him at the summertime, the chances are you'll win a league. So there's another 50 or 60 on top of it. So there's 75 million that realistically that Matt Riley is potentially worth to you. Unless somebody's going to cross your greasy palm with 75 million, in which case, even if you lost the league, it wouldn't matter because it would balance out. It just wouldn't make sense. That's just, I mean, that's Bovril making any business sense to me at all. But 30 million, no chance, Punch McNubb. But 30, you know, you're compromising 50, 60 for winning the league, and you're going to get 25 million from in the summer anyway. So you're at 75. You're not going to get that. It's there's no figure is going to make any business sense to sell Matt O'Riley in the January transfer window. Absolutely none. We would need to be fucking dafter than I even think we are.
We had the link there, terms for you, pal. Just click on that.
And as much as Bernardo's starting to become or looks as if he could become a right good player, it's took O'Riley a couple of seasons to get to this level. So although long term Bernardo might be the answer, it's the short term he's no. And what O'Riley brings to that team is fantastic. Which you're not going to replace. It's not going to be cheap to replace him, even though you're spending that $6 million on Bernardo. It just would not make any sense to me whatsoever for that for that deal to get through. And as I say, I do not think O'Reilly's the type of person that would upset the apple cart if he had wanted to go and Celtic knocked it back. I don't think he's that type of boy. I think he wouldn't down tools. He hasn't looked. I mean, I don't think that it's coming for O'Riley. It certainly looks. I don't think I've seen a player looking happier at being at Celtic than he is just now. Even you watch that even the Bucky game there, he looks to be happy. We know that he's happy under Rodgers. I just can't. As I said, you'd be. I can't even think. Surely the board is bright enough to sit down. You know, you think we should be looking to bring in. Rodgers still has for 4 bits of quality that we've not given him. We can't go and take the 1 bit of Champions League quality that he's potentially got away from him. You think you would be compromising winning the league, which is worth 50, 60 million. So as I said, you're going to get 25 million from in the summer anyway. So unless somebody said to you, then there's 75 million, at which point you'd be able to say, right, there you go. See if we don't win the league, we're no any worse off because we'll get it covered with Matt O'Riley, and we'll probably win the league anyway, even without him. That you'd understand. But 30 million, 25 million, abs. The board should just be out and saying, fucking behave yourself. He's going nowhere. Too big a price here up for. It's
a loan bit that makes me think that Celtic just not even.
I think it was
looking at it.
Was it no a loan, Mark, with an obligation to buy? And I think the only reason it was for that was because they're bound by fair play. But
why should Celtic play ball to help them with their faith?
Agreed.
Even Estapona boy, thanks very much for coming in. All right, Terms, you there, pal?
I am indeed. Good evening, lads. How are you all?
Evening, Terms.
Everything all right, Terms?
Yeah, all good, boys. Yourselves?
Good, mate.
Good, yeah.
I'm living the dream, Terms.
This guy being his usual moan.
About Matt O'Riley, obviously.
Of course.
What do you think, Terms?
I think it's complete nonsense. The whole lot of it's nonsense. I mean, I was listening to just what JFP is saying there, and the fact that they can even they could, like, Celtic should nearly turn around and say, well, we'll take Griezmann on loan with an option to buy next year as well. So, and imagine the reaction you get there, like.
Would you swap O'Riley for Griezmann?
No.
Something as stupid as that. Say that to them and see what they say.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I would say, Mark. I would just put the shoe on the other foot, because, like, O'Riley, as you've been saying there, like, O'Reilly's had at least two man of the match performances in the Champions League. He's been head and shoulders the best player in Scotland by some distance. And it seems to be a case that, he's playing with Celtic. Well, we can offer 15 or 20 million. They'll surely have to accept that. Like, even when O'Riley does go, and it's in the summertime, that's the only time he should be going. Unless the figure starts with, in my opinion, at least 35 million. There's I would have zero interest in talking to anyone, because the bottom line is, you could say what you want about the SPL, but this guy performed at the highest level. He done it in European games. He was man of the match in at least two of them. So, like, if that was any other player in any of the other teams would be demanding 30 plus for their player. But they assume because it's in Scotland, we can say 15, 18 million. That's all he's worth. Nonsense.
I totally agree with that. I mean, a lot of people are saying, is this a real story? I do think there is something in it.
Yeah, but if they want to come in the summer for 35 million, Mark, then fine. Celtic they can look and maybe discuss things if Matt O'Riley wants to leave. That's the other side of it. But until then, it's a non-starter for me. He needs to be here till the end of the season to win the league. And anything like this nonsense of a loan, unless someone came in with an astronomical figure and said, we'll pay you 45 million for Matt O'Riley right now, or 40 million for Matt O'Riley now, someone might think, okay, maybe. But this nonsense, when I saw a loan to buy, I just thought, what a crap.
I mean, he's still on quite a long contract, isn't he, O'Riley? Well, I mean, I'd be trying to give him a pay rise. I'd even try to give him a pay rise and get me saying an extent. No, I mean, offer him more money to stay at Celtic, and stay even enough to just give him the kind of extra money to stay for another year and have another crack at the Champions League because and raise his profile even further.
Well, there's justification, Mark, for him to be now at the minute. I might be overstepping the mark here, but there's justification for him to be the second highest paid player at Celtic. Like,
well, I don't argue with that. I don't think.
You know, he's a standout. Like, sorry, JP, yeah.
Terence, if you do that, you sell him in the summertime, and I'm not even convinced he will go in the summertime. I think you could get another 6 months, a year out of him after that. He appears to be a happy bunny, but if you hold it, let's say worst case scenario, you hold off to the summertime. By that count, by that time, he's played a massive part in you winning the league, hopefully, and securing access to your 50 million through the expanded Champions League, and then you get your 50 million in, you get your 25 million, 30 million from then. So unless somebody's going to give you 50 plus 25 at the moment, just don't let the door hit your arse the way it. You know, they should just be telling Atletico de Madrid to stay, go and behave. You know.
That's why I said, JP, I'd turn around and say to Griezmann, just say, no, it's a non-entity by Celtic. But by the way, could we have Anton Griezmann on loan with the option to buy him at the end of the season? And you'd see your answer, you'll get your reply back from them fairly quickly. That's what I do, just to be a wanker about it. Like, I would genuinely do that for Celtic. Like,
as you said there, it's a bit wankerish, but for me, it's the stupidest what they've come up with for us.
That's what I'm saying, Mark. That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense. Like,
see, it's the 6 month loan thing. There's no way Celtic's going to entertain that. There's no way. But I mean, what John's saying, there's that much at stake. There's no reason for the board to accept that, you know, because we're losing one of our best players coming into one of the most important parts of the season. We've not even got the money in the bank for losing them yet. I mean, I know I'm not even going to say it, but there's no way Peter would allow that, John, would he?
Who are you kidding?
You would honestly like to think that there's no even any logic to having this discussion. It's fucking bonkers. It really is. It's just fucking bonkers. You know what I mean? Excuse my French, but it really is.
Nobody's going to give away one of their best players for 6 months and it'd be the guarantee of getting not even that much money at the end of it. I mean,
Yep.
suppose they're talking about 20-25 million, well, that's a lot of money to Celtic, but in the transfer fees these clubs are paying and the money they were talking about for the Champions League next season and that's not a lot of money to Celtic, you know. Celtic's the lot of money Celtic will get will come the end of the season when we win the league. So there's no point we give somebody a Lenny one probably my most consistent and best player this season, to be honest, in my opinion, Matt O'Riley. There's no way that Celtic would even consider just getting him away for 6 months. We'll wait 6 months to take £25 million off you. That's absolute nonsense.
See, if the board sits down to have this discussion, it should take fucking 5 minutes.
It should even take less than that.
Do you know what I mean? Say, listen, no.
Just a text message with back to Atletico saying NAW apostrophe.
No, maybe see you in the summer.
No,
I just
they're not going to let their best player go at this stage of the season with everything that's at stake. I would walk, and I wouldn't blame him for walking if the board even considered letting him go for 20-25 million at this stage of the season, our best player. But as John says, I think it's ludicrous. I think it's a lot of shite as well. I don't think we're going anywhere at all. So we'll wait and see.
Well, listen, the board have got enough. The board have got hammered for not investing in players this season. Like for the notion of, as has been said, to give away the best player for nothing for 6 months, and then with the potential of getting money in the summer. Like who even thought that? Honest to God, who thought and said that might be a good idea? Do you know what I mean? It's like the fella who thought, if I piss into the wind, it probably won't spray back in my face.
It's bad enough, Terence. It's bad enough that we're sitting here that we've not made a move for my preference would be Majowski or Shankland or fucking Van Veen or Sidney Van Hooijdonk or the Brøndby boy at 10. No chance we're not going for going for the 10. Same with these linkers with Kelleher. Fucking no chance is Celtic going to spend 20 million on a keeper. No chance.
Oh, there isn't. And actually,
no chance.
See that? Just seeing that, I've said it before. See that £20 million valuation? That's not came from anywhere. That just came from a Liverpool website that said that's what they were looking for. That Liverpool never tell anybody that would be the price for him. Even David Stalker, nice to see you again, mate.
Realistically, we shouldn't be looking at anybody in their prime in the EPL because it's out with our price range. The only way you'd be looking in the EPL for anybody is somebody that's needing to either resurrect their career or coming to the end of their career. You're thinking we're needing cover. We're needing cover. But that's another thing. Rodgers' statement. You know, he said he dropped the ball twice. You know, let's say, listen. My old man used to say, listen to what somebody's not saying. Rodgers, that comment he made it, and I tried to post his press conference was like, I tell you, it doesn't tell you what he's thinking. But it tells you what the board's thinking. What he said was, had Kyogo gone away to the Asian Cup, it would have been different. But he isn't. That's what he told you. And then at that point, as I said, the board wiped the collective sweat for their brow and put the fucking cheque back in the drawer. That's the bottom line. And the other thing he said that I think should depress you, Mark, because you've been saying, and Jerry said the same thing, that we should be looking to buy somebody to oust everybody in the position, because we should be able to improve on every position on that park. And yet Roger says it's a hard sell to bring somebody into the second fiddle to Kyogo. He said, wrong answer, Brendan. You should be looking to, but obviously that tells me that we weren't looking to go and bring somebody in that was going to be fucking better than Kyogo. And Kyogo was going to potentially play you know, see when somebody's bullshitting you, if you just sit back and you listen long enough, eventually they drop the races all over the park. And see that interview told me everything I need to know. Soon as Kyogo wasn't going, as I said, they wiped their brow, and it was severing. It was certainly never in their intention. It's not even in their mindset to go and get somebody that's better than fucking Kyogo.
But the funny thing is, JFP, Jerry, I'm nearly sure you mentioned it in the forum the other day, that if Rocco Vata is the understudy or the replacement for Kyogo, we're in a world of trouble.
Yep.
Kyogo's one, I think you mentioned it, Jerry, I think it was yourself. Kyogo's one trip, one fall from his shoulder been gone for the season.
Yep. Every
And
time
yet
he
he
gets down, you're terrified.
Yeah, and all this has to go to is a day after the transfer window closes, Kyogo falls, lands on his shoulder, and now we're left with either O or Vata up front. I mean, if Celtic, that is a huge risk by Celtic to assume that Kyogo is going to go the rest of the season without getting injured.
Yep.
That's a huge fear with two guys. Like, whether people like him or not, it's a different thing. But Shanklin or the lad from Aberdeen, we know what they can do. They're in the SPL every week. They're tried and tested, so to speak. You could easily go for one of those guys and ask the question to one of them, and if you can ask the question to both of them, quite frankly, and they could easily come down. And what's to say, like as I said, that Kyogo is off form or he gets a hopper, we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed. Like,
you're bang on. I've said for sometimes I think I'm watched a different team. It could be, I mean, I'm listening to comments everywhere and say, when you're asking what's your priorities, a left back, a goalkeeper. Joe Hart's not going to cost you the league. Greg Taylor's not going to cost you the league. But strange love a doctor saying they're made as a striker. But he's in fucking Japan, aye, and we've got Hibs.
But he's not a striker either.
He is for Japan, and we've got a. He plays through the middle for Japan. We've got Aberdeen and Hibs to play. I mean, either the only reason not to sign Majowski or Shankill was you're weakening other teams that can do them damage in the second half of the season. But for us to be sitting here and with one striker. One recognised striker who's carrying a, and we've already been told that he needs a a shoulder up. But I mean, I can't get my hand. I can't actually get my handle on Rodgers yet. I don't know whether Rodgers is he's either, as I said last week, he's either fucking heading towards Terminado 2 here. Aye.
I think he is.
As far as I know, Brendan Rodgers is the fifth largest private landlord in the UK, right? But see, if you're the fifth largest landlord in the UK, you don't need to take anybody's shite, right? That's the first thing. He's either on his way to Terminado 2, or he's a lackey for the bourgeoisie. He's a spokesman for the board, and I think it's neither to been the. I think it's nearer to being the first one than the second one. See if that time does come, I hope he throws him right under the fucking bus.
I think if it came to the crunch again this time, I don't think he would hold back, because I mean, he came in and he basically promised the fans he'd be here for 3 years.
Yep.
I mean, they said that himself. I've got a 3-year contract. I'll be here for 3 years. Whether it's at least 3 years, we don't know, but. I think if he walked out again, I felt he was getting pushed out again. Honestly, I'd love him to come out and tell the truth. And show this non-disclosure pattern on that. As you said there, John, he doesn't, even without all his property portfolio stuff and all that, he doesn't need the money even for his football earnings. Do you know what I mean? What if he turned into Celtic and said, "We'll see the money you owe me for the rest of the contract. Just keep it. I'll be telling the fans exactly what happened to me for the day I walk back in here."
See, if you've got any principles, you could be telling you, sorry, I can't. One, I don't need the money that comes with your non-disclosure agreement, and two, as a point of principle, I'm not fucking signing it. If I need to leave here for the reasons I'm leaving here, I'm going to tell the that's paying your fucking wages.
Because they hate the way. Well, I mean, look at the grief him and his family took.
You're trying to tell me to fucking cheer up again.
Do you know what I mean? After the grief and all that, and I mean, as it spoke about it, the bad blood, but the way you left the last time and all that. I don't think he could. And I don't know how to put that into words. He couldn't do it again and expect any Celtic fan to ever back him. If he came out and tell us the truth about it, do you know what I mean? There would be plenty of Celtic fans that would probably cause chaos amongst the Celtic fans, between the Celtic fans and the both.
But it's nearly to an extent so far. It's nearly a mirror image as to the reason why he left the first time. Take the Leicester job out of it. Sorry, JFB, but take the Leicester job out of it. But his big problem was that Celtic weren't buying any quality guys that he wanted, and they're still at the same level. Celtic's budget is clearly 3, 4, maybe 5 million. That's it. And that didn't seem to be what he was saying when he came in. Like,
but can't be that terms when we're sitting with that money in the bank and stuff like that.
But it clearly is the mark. It clearly is the template. Right, that's their template. Right,
but it shouldn't be. I mean,
no, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. But
was Rodgers told? Was Rodgers told basically in a sense lies? Was he told we're going to do X, Y, and Z? Because he said the reason he left in the first place was by not buying quality. And you can't say some of the guys they've brought in, Kwan and Tillo and all these other guys that we've gone through numerous occasions. They're like, look at the prices of them all. There's a template there, 3, 4, maybe 5 million at the most. That's it. They're not going any higher. It's like they were saying about Kelleher and all these other guys. I can't see any of those guys coming in unless Kelleher's in for a loan for 6 months at the most. But Celtic don't seem to have any ambition to go 8, 9, whatever it is million for a player. I know it's hard at this time of the year, but they didn't even have it in the summer. So I wonder whether Rodgers has had the wool pulled over his eyes and he's come back thinking I'm going to get this sorted, and basically he's coming in and he's been told no, this is the way we're going to manage it. This is where we're going to do our transfers.
Rodgers come back for one of 2 reasons, and I still don't know what one it is yet. It never, as I've said repeatedly, I'm still no any nearer understanding what was in this for Rodgers. If I'm Rodgers, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm thinking to myself, I can't do better than I done the last time. I can't improve on what I did before. I can't even improve on what the previous manager, what the Spurs manager did, because he's away with a 100% success rate in the last season. They loved him. Half of Glasgow doesn't even fucking like me. So I don't even understand why he came back, other than for one of 2 reasons. Other than he was told that he was going to be back to do the one thing that he wasn't able to do the first time, was to make an impact in Europe, as Mark spoke about there, we seemed like it had horrendous implications for his family relationships as well, his broader family, his wider family relationships. I think there's been a genuine commitment in there to come back and make amends to the Celtic support. And the day that I started to believe that was because when I went to the first game and he came out onto the park, I thought, Brendan, don't walk around the park and clap it, just fuck off up the tunnel, right? Don't come in the park here. But when he made his appearance at James McCrory Park against St Roch's, you don't go to Royston Hill if you're taking the piss. It's just not a part of the world you go to if you're going to go and take the piss, or if you've got an ego. I believe in it, and I believe in the time I've seen him there, there's been a genuine attempt to repair the damage that was done, and that could take away the Celtic support, and that could be a big part of his motivation for coming back. But you're still left the question here: has he been sold a pup?
But see if he came out, John, and was honest with the Celtic fans, it would. The actual levels he probably. See if he came out the morning and says, "Look, there's 7 days left in this transfer window. I'm looking to bring in this position. Maybe it'll need to be a wee loan here or there, but that's what I want these players in for the short closing of this window. I've asked the board to do it. We'll see what happens. If he came out, I know a lot of managers aren't as open as that, but see if he did come out and be as open as that. That would kind of wipe away a lot of the kind of still the. See what you're talking about, John. You don't know whether he's on his side, our side, or the board side. Is this kind of triangle?
Yep.
Mentalness, you know what I mean? But he came out, it just overlooked for us a bit of honesty and a bit of. I mean, no club's ever going to come out and tell their support, we're trying to sign this guy, that guy. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. but just a wee bit more openness. And even if he comes out and says, look, we're really trying to get a couple of signings in early line. It's taking a bit longer than we thought, but we're working day in and day out to try and get it happening before this window shuts. That gives you a wee bit of hope, at least, that they're actually doing it. And if Brendan Rodgers comes out and says that, we'll believe him. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just
exactly. I think even
if somebody like Peter Lills released it to one of his wee cronies for the blogging world or for the Daily Record or something like that.
Even if he come out, you can understand why he's he's walking a bit a tight rope here. You know, I can understand why if I'd have been him, I would have sat down with the board after the summer transfer window and say to them, well, you made a horse's arse of that, eh? But we'll live with that. We all know where we are now, but you need to sort yourself out between now and during the January transfer window, because I'm not here to get I've not come back up here on the promise of being back to have my reputation decimated, eh? And I can understand why he could come to have that private discussion with the board and no one to share that with us. But there's got to come a point he's got to say, listen, guys, here's what went down, and here's where we are.
See, that's the thing, John. See if he's as close to Desmond as we're led to believe. How's he not going straight to him and saying, look, what's happening here? This isn't what I was promised. You need to get this sorted one way or another. You sort it, and we can move on, or you don't, and I'm out the door. This is
See, Jerry,
I don't understand it at all.
See, the problems are political like that. That he's got a serious question mark over the recruitment team, the board, and he can go and hit a wee white ball with a big daft stick and whisper into Dermot's ear and communicate that to him. Even being able to do that, these decisions can't be made and these solutions can't be found in 6 months, in a year. These are big issues, eh?
Yep.
But I agree with you 100%. Why is and I don't believe for 1 minute he has the bit easier.
I just don't see him as a yes man. I know as daft as it seems, I just don't think he's the type that would allow himself to be shoulder up. I think he'd either take off or he would try and do something about it. I just don't think he's going to sit there and take the... I know what you're saying about him wanting to come back and main bridges and fair play, and I seen him at the St Rock's game, but I just can't see him being the type of person he is. I don't think he would allow himself to be shoulder up or a pig in a poke.
It's him that's the kind of...
His ego's too big.
Point
exactly.
Stuff, you know what I mean? So I agree with that, Jerry. I don't think he's a yes man to that extent, because it's him that's in there in the firing line. Do you know what I mean? Even with the fans and the press and stuff like that. I don't think so.
His ego wouldn't allow it, Mark.
No,
I would have that as well.
You know, you can understand why he wouldn't give the board or the recruitment team or Matt Lowell or any other concerns he's got. You can understand why he wouldn't give them their character in public if he's still going to get them on board. I understand that. I understand that. I understand that it's not all the time that you can come out and put the truth on the table. 100%. You know, sometimes you're caught between a rock and a hard place, and there's a line to walk. There's a fine line.
There's a fine line. You can't wash your dirty laundry in public, so to speak.
See, when they kept referring to needing quality, you know, if I had his phone number, I'd have contacted Brendan and say, why don't you say we're needing the experience rather than quality? Yeah, because you're not doing the confidence of the team any favours without repeating that line all the time. I just think sometimes sometimes you maybe know what the crack is, and but you don't need to tell. You don't need to put it on the table for everybody to read there. So I can understand that.
I need quality and power into it.
Quality and power.
The power's all right. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like we spoke about it enough times. The team is very lightweight, but I know what you're meaning there, John. That's kind of throwing some of the players under the bus. That see, like guys like Greg Taylor and that maybe are always they're always the one that people want replaced and stuff like that. That's maybe not going to do guys like him much confidence. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
But do you think, and it's a very fair point what you're saying, but do you not think so that comment could also have related to the first transfer window, when you look at what came in, there was very, very little quality in that window. So
There was none.
Aye.
I get
Tarmac
the
signing
point.
is tough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jerry. I get what you're saying about saying quality, because I know players could read into that differently. It could motivate some, it could down others' confidence. But I'm wondering how much of that as well was related to the first window, with some of the guys that came in that were basically like we've kicked as many footballs for Celtic as they have. Like, some of them have just been a complete waste of signing. The likes of Kwan, who was on a 5-year contract, and Tillo, and all. Unless he's slightly referring to them, to those individuals that were brought in the first window, where basically Palma, maybe Holm to an extent, possibly Yang. That's about, and they're thereabouts. But other than that, there's been really nothing. But sorry, Bernardo's been brilliant, yeah. But what I'm saying is, like generally speaking, so the majority of them haven't done an awful lot, Mark. So whether he was referring to that as well, but I mean, Bernardo wasn't even getting the game up to a couple of weeks ago. Like,
No.
Even Narovsky, he's actually looked decent the last few games as well. Again, Bucky Thistle playing at the weekend. Hold on, lads. Even in Maestro, nice to see you, mate. Graham Martin, nice to see you in again, pal. Thanks very much. Sean McCluskey, I don't think I saw you earlier on. Thanks for coming in, mate. Narovsky looks all right as well now.
But he looked well at the start of the season, Mark, before his knock. He looked really comfortable in the ball before his knock. Narovsky did, until he went to that half-ass pitch that they call in Kilmarnock.
Is it he's talking about these kind of quality players? Is he talking about players that it's not going to take 6 months to be the best? Is he talking about players that are going to come in and hit the ground running? I mean, Bernardo, a few weeks ago we weren't even talking about him. Then a couple of weeks ago we were talking about, we've seen a wee bit of him. We don't know if he's good enough to pay £6 million for. Now we're like that. Pay it the now if we can and make sure. Do you know what I mean? And it's just as Roger's meaning. Celtic, I've spoken about it before. Celtic as a club need to sign these kind of younger players, right? Because they've still got to sign players that are ready to get straight into that kind of first team, and then you kind of nurture your younger players. And is that what you need? Instead of players that are coming in needing 4, 5, 6 months to get up to speed with training and tactics and the weather and whatever. He's wanting players that can come in and just that stage they're in. They do a couple of days training and boom, they'll start. I mean, Kuhn, if somebody did be wisdom teeth, he'd get took out and he'd lose something like 12 pound in weight because he couldn't eat solids. That's the only reason he wasn't playing at the weekend. He would have played. He would have probably got game time on Saturday and Sunday. Do you know what I mean? That's
the only way we're going to progress, mate. Like, by doing that, see for bringing all these, even the project players or so-called project players, they're not going to progress if they're all getting thrown in at the deep end.
No.
You're wanting kind of experienced, better players in round about them to help bring them on, rather than just throw 3 or 4 into the first team and hope that they all swim in the same direction. That's not how we'll progress.
It's like Yang, I said this a few times. It was only because the injuries Yang get flung in at the deep end, and he was at his depth. Do you know what I mean? You saw these flashes and been decent, but he was at his depth.
You look back at that Champions League campaign. You look back at that Champions League campaign, and it was indeed fine margins, as Roger said. The 4 bit of quality that he asked for.
Yep.
You could have been the difference of progressing and no progressing. And then the bottom line is Bernardo will undoubtedly be a long-term success, but it wasn't Bernardo we were needing in the summertime for him to come in and make an immediate impact on our Champions League aspirations. As I said, he needed the 4 bits of quality then. What's changed? Hopefully we get one in the windy year. We've went and bought a winger. It's maybe not a project, but he's a project plus. He's certainly not the finished article. And again, he's coming in a 5.5-year deal. I don't know. I'm just at a loss as to what's as to what's happening in there.
I think Kuhn's a good signing.
I think he is. I think he could be, but he's still not the finished article.
Oh no, but it's Terry says all the time, John, if they were a finished article, he wouldn't beat Celtic.
He wouldn't beat Celtic. He's bang on. He's
You know what I
absolutely,
mean?
he's
Aye,
absolutely
so
bang on.
to that extent, he is a project. To that extent, Matt O'Reilly's a project. Let's face it, basically every Celtic player we signed really, to a certain extent, is a project. Because even if he signed a 28-year-old, if he signed a 28-year-old, say a 28-year-old left back, cracking player for us, does brilliant for us in the Champions League next year, right? Well, it might spend £6 million on him. Seen the 2 year time of that. If somebody offers us £12 million, we're selling them. We're doubled our money and we've got 2 year good play at them. So it kind of annoys me the way everybody lumps onto this with Celtic players. A project. It just used to be called young good players. I mean, it's like Alan Hansen.
Majowski's not a project.
But Alan Hansen, what was it? Alan Hansen said
You can't win anything with kids.
But see, you can't win anything with projects.
Yeah, but the only thing, though, Mark, is there's a fine line for me between a project signing and what I would deem an investment. Like that if a player has been playing in, we just say, a Spanish league or even the Dutch league for Feyenoord or PSV or Ajax, and he's been playing a couple of seasons, and Celtic buy him, for argument's sake, and they pay 8 or 9 million for him. We just say, to me, that's not a project. To me, that's an investment, because they're going, well, if we get him, we can progress more in the Champions League, and he plays well in the Champions League for 1 or 2 seasons, all of a sudden he's worth 20 million. There's more of a possibility of him being worth 20 million than a project that they buy for 2 million being worth 20 million.
That's the way they went down with Dembele and Edward there.
Yeah.
That's the way they looked at it. They're spending Dembele, I know, spending decent money on him, but that's what they were looking to do, and they done it with Edward. Brought him in for decent money, or great money.
He was the highest transfer ever for Celtic, Jerry. No, and it's shocking to think, and I've said it loads of times in here, and apologies, people are bored of probably listening to it, but like, for Celtic not to have spent 10 million on a player is absolutely mind-boggling. I'm talking about in one go, none of this paying 9 million and then we'll give you a 30% sell on and all this kind of nonsense. I'm talking about just a straight on 10 million, 11 million, whatever is 12 million for a player. To think that Celtic have never done a 10 million, bought a player for 10 million it boggles the mind. It really does, especially in this day and age.
I understand why a player trading must be. It's got to be the cornerstone of our business strategy. I don't know, while we might not like that, that's just a fact of life. 100%. That's just the way it is. But what I'm saying is, and I've mentioned this a few times as well, is if you remember the Spurs manager said that it doesn't happen fast enough, and he wasn't talking about he wasn't getting who he wanted fast enough. What he meant was it's not happening. Recruitment doesn't happen fast enough that you have the quality, the experience built around about the development potential, and that's not what happened. You could have went. Why did somebody not sit down before the January transfer when they didn't think, right, our business model is a player trading model, but see now let's bin the player trading model. We need to win this league this year, nothing else. We've got one objective here. Objective number one: win this league. Secure the 50 million, deny somebody else the 50 million. And Majowski or another Majowski surely could have satisfied that. There's no way they're going to go and buy Shankill at 28, 29 years of age and spend 3 million for him and get nothing back. They're just not going to do it. But surely you could have done it with Majowski and been less focused on a return on your investment in terms of sell-on clauses and just looking at the short-term hit you're going to get with somebody. As you said, both of them could have came in the Friday and played on the Saturday. They know the league. They hit the ground running. They're no project. When I'm talking about project, I don't even like the word, but it's I'm not focused on what you spend on a player. But you could have bought Shankill or Majowski and brought them in. They could have done a job for you between now and the summer.
But even JP, sorry, Jerry, go on.
No. John was going on about the 3 million, how they wouldn't want to lay that out for a 28-year-old, but 3 million's nothing if they on the outlay if they return with a league and then win the league again next season as well.
Absolutely.
He's still capable of scoring goals up here. He's maybe no ideal for Europe, but he's going to hit the back of the net up here with the chances that we create. So I think $3 million for a 28-year-old that's going to bang in the goals would make perfect sense. That's to me.
Who does Shankill play for? Is it Northern Ireland?
No, it's Scotland. It's Heartsville, Mark. He's talking about. He's calling him Shankill.
I know why you call him it, but I didn't know who he played for internationally.
No,
he played for
Scotland. Yeah.
He's not going to come to Celtic and sit at the bench if Scotland's going to these Euros in the summer. Because, I mean, that's the thing about John saying, and what I keep saying, Celtic, see, I mean, we want a striker brought into just because of this injury kind of worry with Kyogo, but I'm not saying I would rather wait to the summer, but the plan for either, we need to get through this one day, but my plan for the summer is that we need to sign a better striker than Kyogo. And Shankill's know that.
No, I would agree. I would totally agree, mate. But for you're in the league, it would do fine up here in the league. He scored for Scotland.
He's not going to, but he's not going to. He's going to come, but he's still going to be back up to Kyogo. So he's only going.
He's not going to be a bigger move than us.
That's what I said earlier.
Coming off the bench for Celtic and still trying. I mean, I don't know who else Scotland have got up in the striker department, but if he's looking to go to these Euro Championships, he's going to be wanting to be playing every single week.
So does Roger's comments, Mark, no worry? Even the two things that he said is that once Kyogo didn't get called up, irrespective of the shoulder injury or no, we just put the cheque back in the drawer. And also said it's a hard sell to bring somebody in here to be second fiddle to Kyogo. I'm thinking, that's a wrong answer, Brendan, man. You should be trying to bring somebody in here to be better than Kyogo.
Aye, definitely.
See, the thing is, John, we've said it before. We all knew we needed a left-back striker, goalkeeper before the summer window opened. And we're still sitting here, agreed that we're not really going to need the goalkeeper now. But if we had signed him in the summer, things would be a whole lot different for us the new and European-wise. So this is my biggest thing. We all know where we need to improve, but it's trusting that board and our so-called recruitment team to get these players in. It's frightening. I get beggars.
He spends 16 of his last 19 signings are nowhere near the team. We've got Cohen away to we've got Cohen away to St Mirren. We've got Lagerbielke signed in the summer, up for sale in the winter. £7.5 million between the three of them, including Narovsky. When time will tell whether he comes good. My understanding, there's still question marks there as well. It's would you trust Mark Lowell to go and do better this time? Another thing that you don't know as well, what constraints is I mean, I've got serious question marks about over Mark Lowell's individually, but the one thing I don't know is I don't know what constraints he's working on either in terms of what the parameters are that have been set for him to go and to go and recruit. Is there a cap on it? Is
there is
in there?
Definitely. I said it before. JFP. There is a cap. Sorry, Mark. Go on.
No, only go there.
I said it before, JFP. There is a cap. There has to be a cap because look at the template of Celtic, the players they sign. Every one of them are the same price. There's no. I'm not saying for 1 second that Celtic should go out and spend 4 or 5 players for 10, 11 million. I'm not saying that any stretch of imagination, but there's no problem with one player being a £10 million player, a real quality to help them in the Champions League. Whether that's a centre back, a centre forward, whatever it is, in a certain position they really need. But the problem is, I said this before, and I think Mark Lowell has been told, Grant, your budget is between anywhere. We generally look at between 3 million, 5 million, no more. Like, who's to say that the guys coming in, the Narovskis and the Lagerbelts and all these guys, they're not number 3 on the list? That number 1 and number 2 are too high.
Well, that's
when he's going to cost us 9 million. He's going to cost us 9 million. He's going to cost us 8 million. What about this guy? He's about 4.5 million. Okay, we'll have a look at him. I genuinely think that's.
And we've spoken about it before. Who pulls
Yeah,
the trigger? Who pulls the trigger? Who makes that final decision? Because it's no Mark Will. We'll have an input on it, but he'll not be the be all and end all saying, right, we're going for him.
I think you've
You know
got
what
two
I mean?
questions there, Mark. You've got the questions at either end of that question. You've got the one at the front end. What's the parameters? What's the parameters that are set for Mark Lawley to work within? And then who pulls the final trigger to say, right, go from that? Because it's obviously not been Rodgers that's gave the go ahead for Lagerbielke,
But even JFP Rodgers came out with so many different statements. He came out with a statement that he wanted quality. Then he came out with a statement was I can only train when I'm given. To an extent, I know that's not word for word. Then he came out with another one. We need more quality. So there's clearly, to me, there's clearly, you know.
He said he only trains with the board give him. He also said he said the final say. You know what I mean? Which is
the one's a lie, one's not like.
That's right. Both of them can't be.
They're not both right, like.
That's right. I think a lot of questions over what Rodgers has said as well at times.
And that's what I think. I genuinely think Celtic have a template, and the template is this is the players we buy. If you look at it, even under the Spurs manager, it's the same kind of template. No massive players. I know people will argue about Carter Vickers and Jota, but Carter Vickers and Jota were like you try before you buy. If they were no good, Celtic wouldn't have paid $6.5 million.
But who funded them? Terence, that wasn't Ange Postecoglou who brought them into Celtic.
No, I'm not for 1 second, Mark. But I'm just saying in what Celtic paid for them. I mean, I just mean what they paid for them. Other than that, Celtic's template, as I said, it's the same way the whole way along.
See, for me, I say it all the time as well. The actual transfer fees as such don't bother me much. It's the wages. You know what I mean? I've no problem with money Celtic spend. It's the way they spend it. But for me, I mean, you get bargains. I mean, they're Matt O'Riley, 1.5 million. That could turn out to be one of the biggest bargains of the 20th century for Celtic. Do you know what I mean? But Celtic, for me, if you're just looking for a kind of normal, kind of middle, it's like a left back, a right back, or something like that, it should be in the kind of 6 million transfer fee bracket for Shotman. That should be the kind of niche. Do you know what I mean? Between 5 and 7 million pound.
Yeah,
that's where that's
the new 3 million mark.
Exactly, Terence. You keep saying it. £5 million 10 years ago is no £5 million a day.
See, the thing is. On you go, sorry, Mark.
No, I've just got to repeat myself, but just again, for that kind of £5 to £7 million, that should be the kind of go-to market for Celtic. I will get bargains and stuff, but that should be our go-to, and then 1 or 2 players in the important positions, like up front, around the winger, a kind of attacking midfielder or that. Then you buy a wee bit of different quality in there, you push your boat out to maybe your £8 to £10 million players. And these players the majority of them are going to leave us and make his money. So we just keep replacing like for like as such, or even improving it a wee bit. Do you know what I mean? We can maybe step up and say in 5 year time, right? We can move up to the 5 to 7 million marker as well. Kind of base, and we'll go for 6 to 8 million as our base kind of deal.
I've been bumping my gums about having a business plan for ages. Do you think, Mark, that there is a business plan at Celtic Park where that states what the general direction of travel is, what the aims and objectives, what we're trying to achieve here, and how we're going to achieve that? Are we going to buy 4 £3 million players, development potential? Are we going to try to put the ball out for 1 or 2 10 millions on about it? Are we going to buy a bit of experience? Are we going to try to keep them long enough, send them up long year deals to have the development potential beside the quality long enough to allow us to make an impact in Europe? Do you think that's there?
No, I think there's a bit of paper. I think there's a bit of paper somewhere in the Celtic Park that just says just stay in front of them.
That's right. I agree with you.
I think there's a bigger picture. Well, for me, I don't trust Lowell at all. I mean, his signings have been horrific, regardless of what bracket he's meant to be shopping in. His signings have been pish. See if any of us should perform the way he's performing at what?
It's not his signings, but Jerry.
Well, why would you go and identify a player and say, look, I think he can do a job when he's shite? for any number of one of these signings that he's made. What 20 signings he's had, and how many of them are in that starting 11?
There's people talking about Majowski there. Do you think we could have bought Majowski for less than Aberdeen for less than 5 million? Do you think they would have held it for 5 million?
Oh God, yeah.
See, even at that, back to the point we made at the time. If between Shankhill and Majowski, if you'd been coming at me and you'd been saying, "Listen, John boy, you go and give me 10 million, and I'll give you 60 million back at the fair," what would my answer be?
Oh, you're into me, yes.
100%. So why Celtic's answer no yes?
As I said, Celtic seem to be every season happy to gamble. Happy to gamble is basically just, you know what, we'll throw money at a load. Like Celtic have spent, I think they spent 20 million on 9 players. I think it was over the summer or something like that, or whatever it is. Most of them poor or below poor. And to go to the wages thing that we were talking about, Mark was saying it there. I said it here before. I looked up the wage thing, give or take, I don't know 100% accurate, but there was like 11 players that I counted on that have basically contributed little or nothing to Celtic, and was averaging something like 6.4 million a year in wages. Like 8 to 11 players contributing nothing. Your James McCarthy, your Seagrass, your James Forrest, that Kwan, Tillo, these guys, like it boggles the mind that Celtic are go down a certain road of transfers, and there's so much waste there. So much waste there.
Roughly, a rough count about 150 grand a week. There's your 3 players at 50 grand, which is more than your current wage limit. Fucking Baines.
2 players at 75 grand a week. You could take it to the next level, John.
100%. Baines get more fucking medals than he's had appearances. It's just fucking bonkers. I'm not hearing. I'm hearing more and more people having the question mark that I've got about the whole structure of the club in terms of the difference between being a well-run business and a well-run football club. They almost couldn't fucking fail to be a well-run business. You know, so I've said before that they've got what they've got in the coffers, not because of anything particular that Desmond.
Just bean counting and running any business, John. You could probably, I mean, guys like you, there's guys on the forum that run their own businesses, and if it's that in your face, and if it's that in your face, you could probably do as good a job.
60,000 half-wits willing to turn up and give you the best part of a fucking grand every year, buy 4 taps. It's it's
George.
Brian Senior, keep the faith. I mean, I don't know. I think.
Good night, Brian, mate. Good night.
Night, Brian.
It's I don't think. I think we need to take the take the blindfold off here, and you need to be aware of what you're dealing with here.
George, see, the thing is, you're talking about that, and I fully agree with you, mate. And I've been getting more scunnered with the way things are going with the board, and a couple of times I've like, I'm not going back there. And I've had the season ticket for years, and I keep saying to my pals, let's see if we're not going to make signs. I'm not going to be getting up my hard-earned cash, just for it to sit there and do nothing. And I know it's not the right. A lot of people always saying that's not the right attitude to have, but it's getting more scunning.
It's your money, Jerry.
I
know. What you want, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. But that's the way I'm starting to feel. I'm thinking, what's the point? And the only thing is, if I get up the ticket this season, there'll be somebody else there to take it, and that's the only reason.
Say to you before, Jerry, this is the bigger question about his. About their product, if they were genuine businessmen. I mean, you know that they're sitting there thinking, I say, I didn't take my Champions League package this year. Probably 60% because my laddie kind of going, I don't fancy
the dark yourself, wasn't it?
The dark o'clock walk through to Carantine myself, But 40% would have been the lack of investment, or I just might have risked it. Now, if the board's sitting there thinking, say if JFP doesn't take his ticket, there's a man number 2, but is there a man number 3? Could Celtic put another 60,000 in that? If you get pissed off and I get pissed off, and you get disillusioned, could they put a second 60,000 in that stadium? I'm not convinced they could, and that's where you'd like to think that somebody be sitting there thinking about what's the long-term viability of my product here. Is it we need to be making an impact in Europe, not just staying one step ahead of the News Club in Glasgow.
Yep.
Well, look at the Ronnie Dahlia time. They had the whole top tier closed. That's not that long ago. And the thing about it is, ye lads go obviously week in, week out, and you're season ticket holders. But from me looking in, like you're investing in the club, but the club aren't investing in ye.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion,
it's just like a kind of customer, like any kind of business transaction.
It's just an expected thing, and they'll give us the money regardless.
That's right.
Aye, that's exactly it. And they represent with their social media and all their advertising campaigns, as John says, we go and buy all the fancy tops and all these tracksuits, and we go and spend fortunes every season. And
it's pulling on people's loyalty and their devotion, and I've always been a Celtic fan, and my family's always been a Celtic fan, and obviously in Glasgow it's basically deep rooted. So they're nearly feeding on that. The club are going, well, do you know what I mean? These guys will come hell or high water, like regardless. We can go away and spend our 2 million on some fella from Japan who no one's ever heard, who never going to kick a ball for Celtic, but it'd be grand. And we can do that, and we can do this, but we'll get tonked in the Champions League, but we'll be fine. The lads will still pay the money for the Champions League. They'll still buy the 4 jerseys. They'll still renew the season tickets. They'll still do this. They'll still do that. That's what the club are. That's what the club are seemingly doing, and they're not paying back any of the fans, the loyal fans like Jerry and JFP and Welchie and all these other guys that. Work their socks off to earn a wage to get their season tickets and travel everywhere. Like it's horrible.
Guys like Welsh travelling up all over the place away to European games and that, and it's just that. Do you know what I mean?
You get spanked before you go there.
Exactly. There's just no. And I said we get played just as much as the zombies in that are getting played with their boards, but it's in a different way. We don't need the kind of we spoke about it, the kind of going to the galleries like they do with the pure mad stuff they come out with, like that stuff with the penalty that never was and all that stuff. But the Celtic board are just as the exact same when it comes to just trying to get as much money in off the fans as they can, and then not really bothering about what we want to do with that money.
I think the biggest question is what Jerry's talking about there. Is the biggest question is what I've said there. Playing in the heartstrings. But how sustainable is that model? You already see in Scotland and in Ireland. Liverpool taps, Man United taps for that loyalty is not a given. You're moving into. I think I said to you before. I remember reading something that said the Native American Indians, when they would have a powwow to make a decision, they never made a decision without considering what would the impact be on the next 2 generations. I remember when Fergus McCann came in and getting my letter in as a season ticket holder and saying, and I'd been at Celtic Park on a Wednesday night against St Mirren. It was a fucking Jack the Ripper night. They nights with the mist fucking freezing. We always refer to it just as Jack the Ripper nights here. And I was at Parkhead. I think it was 13,000 sacked the board, fucking dire. And then I get my letter from Fergus McCann saying, I'm going to knock down your stadium and I'm going to build. The board that was there before, the best they could come out with was spend $500,000 ripping the jungle out and putting fucking seats in it, and that's what you're dealing with now. Whereas the Bunnet was a visionary. The Bunnet was But the Bonnet was a businessman. The Bonnet was an entrepreneur. He could say, no, I'm going to knock your fucking stadium down because the next generation and the generation after that are going to need it. And I'm going to build you a 60,000 seater stadium, and there's going to be 50,000 season ticket holders, and there'll be a waiting list. And I remember reading it and thinking, Fergus, you're fucking nuts. And that's what you've known. That's Peter Law, Mark Law, all of the above. None of these guys are entrepreneurs. They're millionaires. They're only millionaires because you and me made them millionaires. Where is that? Because my loyalty, I was thinking the same thing as Jerry. My big mate that I've got a season ticket, he says to me, you know, one of the days we walked through Coat Bridge, Celtic was to be playing. We done a wee pub call, and we walked past Albion Rovers Park, and the big fella says to me, he says, you know what? He says, we could do this pub crawl every week and have a season ticket for Albion Rovers and get change back for what we're paying to go to Parkhead, and would probably be better fucking 30. Now, if we're thinking that, and we've got the emotional attachment I've got to Celtic can only, my laddie's got it as well, but that can only wane over the years. How sustainable is the model that he's sitting there thinking, you know, if JFP does to take his Champions League package, somebody else will take it. Short-sighted, to say the least.
Aye, because even though just go to a public sale, John, and somebody will take it. Evening, Richard. Nice to see you in, mate. I hope you're keeping well. I'll drop you a wee email in the morning or that, mate. But good to see you. I hope you're doing well, mate. Honestly, thanks very much for coming in.
So if you don't go, Jerry, where else are you going to go? If you're not going to go and watch Celtic,
I would watch it with a fire stick, but I'd still watch all the games, obviously. But you just think to yourself, I mean, I know I've got pals like that. You're off your head, you're talking shite, you're as well jumping the dike. But see, at the end of the day, you're spending that money and you're getting shite in return. It's like the Champions League package, I take it as well. And you're always thinking, look, I'm going to be watching this behind my flipping hands, through my fingers, because you're going to be taking a doing, because you know that obviously there's teams in that they're going to hammer you. We're just going to accept it. But there's times we're playing teams. I mean, for that group stage there, after 3 games, we're thinking, look, we've not disgraced ourselves. A bit of luck, we could have been top of that league. And then you get a hammer. But if we had invested properly, would have been all right.
I mean, Joseph, what he's talking about. Yeah, realistically, but I've never thought there's any reason for Celtic to increase the capacity of that.
Definitely no. Not the now. We'd be better off spending the money trying to fix that patch.
Because the majority of I mean, I'm on about. I mean, I've not got my season ticket anymore for obvious reasons. But I mean, I would still love to have my season ticket and be going to every game. But it's like I say it all the time when we're live chat for the games. How many empty seats are there? It does my box in. If you're not going to the game, give somebody a season ticket. You need to get that kind of ticket exchange system set up like the Huns have got, because it's ridiculous. The amount of empty seats at a normal game, right? And we get to the Champions League, right? And now there's, what is it now then? 8 games next season, say. Right, so we're guaranteed 8 games. Between the 8 games and the games against Dame across the road, that's the only games that Celtic Park would sell out. If increase the capacity. It would look great. It would look great. There's all these people on the season ticket waiting list and all that. And many people, now I've talked about this with a lassie for the ticket office years ago. And there are no many people when you actually phone up and tell them that their tickets are available are willing to take them. They're on the waiting list, but when they actually become available, they're, I can't afford it and stuff like that.
Aye.
It would be craziness for Celtic to extend that. It would be a waste of money for me. I mean, the All Star needs upgrade. It's rough as hell behind the scenes at bits and all that. But there's absolutely no need financially for Celtic to try and extend the stadium now.
Aye, at the moment, and I don't disagree with you, but that's what I'm saying. Fergus McCann would have a business plan that I don't think's there. That's thinking what's my general direction of travel? What's my aims and objective to make an impact in Europe? What's my objectives toward that aim? Like for
To
development.
make sure if I build a bigger stand, I'm going to fill it.
100%. Are you going
that's going to happen?
In fairness, McCann is would be the type of man to be able to look at this and think and see that investment. See that, see if you were dealing with a Celtic team that was making an impact at that level in Europe, you would need to increase the capacity of that stand, and that's the very point I'm making. That see, the longer that we don't make an impact in Europe, you're not even going to need the stand you've got. Never mind needing to expand it.
They're cannon fodder in Europe, in my opinion. That's all Celtic are. They're cannon fodder. Any team that draws Celtic in the Champions League are probably going lovely. Like,
even the kind of weird teams in that, they're probably kind of
great atmosphere, and we'll get clapped half the pitch.
What about pipe them up the Celtic way? Fuck off.
You know what was it, 15 or 16 games in a row, or longer than that, since they'd won a game or something, or without losing a game? Absolutely nonsense, like ridiculous figures. And like, I mean, if you're any of these better sides and you're drawing Celtic, you're going in your head, well, it's guaranteed probably 4 points, if not 6 points, because you're going to beat Celtic at home, because you know what they're coming over with, and going away from home, you might get a result as well. Like, and as the lads are saying there, people standing up and clapping, say Modric, if he's coming off the pitch, or someone else is coming off the pitch, you're like, lads are fucking after destroying us 4 or 5-0. Why are we clapping? Like,
that's exactly the point I'm making in terms of the bigger business picture. The stadium's going to be too big unless we start addressing our performances in Europe. Addressing that and with the right business plan and the right investment and having an impact in Europe, you would need to put another. You would need to put another 20,000 in the stadium, because the fans are there. But as the next generation want to go and come and watch you getting pumped in Europe by the Whipping Boys of Europe, what players are want to come and get pumped 6-0 in Europe? What managers want to come and try to be treated the way that fucking Rodgers has been treated here? Yep. So the whole fucking thing is short-sighted and extreme to me.
And if you look at it as, say, for argument's sake, a team that you might say similarities, like look at the likes of FC Copenhagen. There's no way that they could be any. They're like, bigger than Celtic financially or whatever. I don't think so anyway. But yet they're able to manage themselves, manage the club, put themselves in a position where they're able to compete in Europe. And now in this situation, they've actually come out of the group. Like, we're like Celtic would struggle in the Conference League at the minute.
So what's your general? What's you guys' thoughts? I mean, as I said, I've been preparing for I've been preparing to be disappointed. I held my breath for the full duration of the summer transfer window, but the good thing is that saved me the bother of having to do it this time. I was expecting nothing, and I've got nothing.
I'd say if they bring in one more player, JFP, I'll be amazed.
So would I. I'm expecting nothing, Terence. I don't know what the rest of the guys are expecting. I'm expecting.
If one on loan, maybe they might be lucky. That's about it.
I'll be honest. I'm although I've always said the January window's hard to bring it, I'm disappointed. I've seen Greg and a couple of other boys that get my ticket when I'm not going. I'm disappointed, and I said that to them before it was Christmas time. If we've not signed 2 or 3 by the Bucky game, I'd be right disappointed. I was hoping that we would come out and have our players identified that we were wanting and get a few in the door, but we've been left with one for probably a position that we really don't need right now, and our 2 kind of main areas are left exposed. So
are we really expected to buy? I get the difficult window bit and all that. Are we really expected to buy that we can't go and buy something better than all?
Totally.
Celtic stature to cover us, to give us a bit of cover between now and the.
There's 2 of them playing in Scotland,
and there's 2 of them playing in Scotland. As much as that would be lazy recruitment, there's 2 of them playing in Scotland.
And you see him every week.
Who's available for left back? Admittedly, I've not seen much of him. I've spoke to Mark about him just between us 2 and a couple of other people I know. he was available. Is he an upgrade? He's a different kind of player for Taylor. He's got the height and the pace that we were kind of maybe lacking with him. A bit more defensive minded, I think. And then you've got, as we've said, Shankill and Majowski, who would be available if we put the right money on the table. So it's not as if these players aren't there. We've got the money, but we can buy them. So it's down to us. Well, maybe Rodgers might not fancy them, but it might also come down to our board not want to splash the cash down either.
But that's the premium that you pay when you buy players in January, Jerry.
No, but I know that, mate. I know it's.
Do you know what I mean? Prices in January is £1 million dearer than they're in the summer and stuff like that because Hearts don't want to sell us Shankill because he's their main striker. They're probably aiming for third in the league, whatever.
Yep.
He's their main striker, and then, well, what if he turns up in the cup final day and scores a winning goal against him in the cup final, which costs them £500,000 in sponsorship and prize money or whatever. So there'll be a wee £1 million premium of that part on the tail end of any player that you're buying this month. But there's no really any transfers happening. There's no really any transfers happening anywhere, is there?
No. But the problem is, Mark, that if Celtic had done their work properly in the summer, they wouldn't be in this predicament now. But they didn't.
Yeah, that's it.
They didn't.
Look at it.
I know that hindsight's a wonderful thing, but that's the bottom line. If they had done their work properly in the summer, there wouldn't be this kind of, I don't want to say panic, but expectation of bringing in a player that we assume we need, but they don't assume that we're going to get. Because in my opinion, if you look at what they've done so far, they seem to be appearing to say that Maedes can play striker. They're now saying that Vata is backup another striker. So in their heads, are they saying, well, we've got we've got Maeda, we've got Kyogo, we've got Vata. We don't need a striker. I'm just, you know,
I don't think Vata's got any future. I think that was just, I'm not looking at it too much into Vata coming on the other day.
I get that, Mark. I get that. But what I'm saying is, are Celtic looking at that? I don't know. But they're clearly going to be looking at Maeda as another centre forward, because if they're saying he plays for Japan, and like Jerry said, I'll be amazed if they get one more player in on loan. That would surprise me, and I that's at a stretch. Other than that, I can't see them getting anyone else in.
No.
And I think it's a massive gamble. I think it's a massive gamble. They're hedging their bets. They're hedging their bets massively here.
It's this one could bite them in the arse big time.
Oh, Kyogo was down in the first 10 minutes of the first game after the window closes, and he's coming off holding his shoulder. Mm-hmm. See the reaction. If they thought they got a bad reaction from the fans before that, see the reaction they get from the fans after that. Because that as you said, it could very easily happen. Like
my father used to say, there's only about 2 feet between a pat in the back and a boot in the arse, and this could go either way. You know, the bottom line is they win their 2 games in hand. They're 2 points behind. I was at the last game. You're hanging on for grim death with 10 minutes to go. Why the board doesn't walk away for that game, as I said the other week there, and think, listen, we've got the Asian Cup looming, we've got a striker that's carrying a shoulder injury. Whether he comes good or whether he doesn't at the moment, can he hit a coup in the arse with a banjo? Let's go and it's not even speculation. It's, as I said before, it's speculation when you've not got the money. It's investment when you have got the money. I don't get that. I don't get that.
I don't either, and it's like the board come out with nonsense and they're telling you I won't be surprised to hear them coming out with going, we tried to sign a guy in the last day or two of the window, but it didn't work out, and we could get it. And you'd be like, don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. You know.
That's what we're expecting.
2 seconds now, lads. Evening, Reb 86, nice to see you, mate. You'll never walk alone. Hail 67, nice to see you. Michelle, thanks very much for coming in again. Hey, thanks. That's it. That's how he's go.
No,
Yeah,
that's
you
what
know,
we're going to be
that's the
left with.
problem. And that's a worry, like.
Yep. It's the same shit you get every year when the season ticket renewals are coming out. You start to hear about going to be signing player, do this and do that. And then once the season ticket money's in, it's thanks and goodbye. Roll up. Thanks and goodbye. We've got the money in. We've sold the tickets. And it's the same shite you get all the time.
I thought one of the best comments I saw on the
email you next time we've released a top. Innit? That's what you get. We'll email you next time you got a topper. Compare car insurance and when I signed a Abada top and shit like that.
Okay, so.
One of the best comments I saw on the banter page recently was somebody had asked, are the board taking risks or are they taking the piss? And Bawz had said fucking both. And that's I couldn't agree more.
It's like when you're sitting with that 70 odd million in the bank now, obviously they're going to be paying tax and all the rest of that. How they know spending some on a couple of players and then you're guaranteed this league money at the end of the season to go and reinvest in the team?
How much of that 70 million would the clan spend to get to win the league and secure 85? Exactly right.
But it's the point, Jerry, that's been made. JFP's made it, you've made it, Mark's made it, anyone that's on here made it. If someone came to you and said, give me 10 million or give me 10 million and I'll give you 60 million in 6 months' time.
Exactly.
And these are supposed to be businessmen. And I use that term very, very loosely. Very, very loosely. How someone hasn't gone, lads, if we spend 10 million in this window, we buy a bit of quality, league is ours, we're in the Champions League, guaranteed 50 million, 60 million. You know, it boggles the mind that they're willing to gamble that. It really does. Because I'll be honest, if Celtic finish second, I can't see them qualifying because they're not good enough.
See, I was listening to John Hughes speaking about it, and I think I was picked up and I was taken wrongly when I tried to make this comment on the banter page. If Celtic had invested in the summer or just now and win this league and secure that 50-60 million, it's a game changer. It's a game changer forever. It would make the gap between you and them just insurmountable for possibly my lifetime. And that's if it didn't just kill them again, right? Conversely, see if we don't invest and they do win the league and they do get the 50 million for the Champions League. See who wins the league thereafter. It's 50-50 for a friend. It's a total game changer. It's a park leveler. And the fact that somebody's wanting to fuck about with this as a board is just beyond my ken. It really is.
If they were in Celtic's position, they would put the foot in the neck.
Exactly.
100% they would put the foot in the neck.
Celtic wouldn't take off again. You weren't moving turns.
Yeah, Celtic. No, but I'm saying, Mark, that what Celtic are doing is, in my opinion, Celtic are patting them on the head. That's all they're doing. Celtic could put a nail in the coffin here by doing their financial muscle, like they do down in England. The bigger teams, they flex their financial muscle, and they make sure that it's not a contest. Celtic seem happy to make this a contest, whereas if the shoe was on the other foot,
we shouldn't have.
If the shoe was on the other foot, they would try and blitz it.
I mean, honestly, who Jack's going to win the league? Terms. No ifs, buts, if we do this, they do that. Who Jack's going to win the league this year?
I don't know.
Oh, away you go.
I don't know.
Mark, I know the answer you're trying to get to, and I'd probably give you the answer you're looking for, right? But the bottom line is here. I was at the last game against them. Whether you like it or not, they're better than all the rest. They've got a half-wit in charge that doesn't understand the offside rule in terms of VAR. That's irrespective of anything you say, he's getting a fucking tune at them. They only need to be down.
Against us.
they only need to be they only need to be better than all the rest. And then it comes down to head-to-heads between us and them, and it's you've then got you've got VAR and officials that are not exactly on your side thrown into the mix here. I don't think being 2 points ahead potentially by the time you play again at the weekend that you could say categorically Celtics. I certainly don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I think we will win the league, but I don't think it's. We should no. You should even be able to see them in your fucking rear view mirror.
Yep.
It's not even a discussion we should be having. The discussion is why are they anywhere? Why are they anywhere fucking near us?
We went through a bit of a sticky patch. They've already sacked a manager this year. We've saw off one of their managers. We beat them in Midden with a makeshift team. We beat them at Celtic Park. Right, we went through a bit of a lull. We weren't playing too well. We lost a couple of games and everybody lost the plot. You know what I mean? And nobody, I mean, even get down to that, we lost a couple of games. Nobody was talking about the players on the park and no give the way they were performing. Everybody was blaming Peter Lowell and the fucking chairman and Mark Lowell and all that because Celtic lost a couple of games. Over the season, Celtic is by far the biggest and best squad in Scotland. And I said at the start of the season, I still stick by it. There's no doubt in my mind that Celtic will win this league. So even suppose we don't even sign anybody else in this window, Celtic will still win this league. There's nothing they can do to stop us.
Admire your confidence, mate.
I'm either going to have to start coming to what is it that thing that Brian does? No, what is it the thing Brian does?
Yoga and Pilates.
I'm either going to need to go to yoga and Pilates or I'm going to need to get you and Enrico to start sharing the fucking grape juice to get a bit of positivity, because I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree with you. I think we'll win the league, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. And it should be. And it should be. That's exactly right, Terence. Well said.
The board, but the board are giving them an oxygen mask every time. We should be, John, that we should be miles in front of them, and we're no. But we're going over old ground. It's the same old. We say this all the time. We should be in front of them, miles in front of them.
A lighter note, I thought I posted Rogers his wee video the other night there on the banner page.
Good. That was good.
As we know.
Yep. We look to the camera as a belter into this.
Me and my laddie can't agree. I sent it to my laddie and he said he just took the opportunity and the wee laugh at it. I says, nah, he knew where he was going with that. I said to my laddie, I disagree. It wasn't an opportunity that just presented itself. He knew where he was going with that. But he opens his mouth the first time.
Did you see the things?
No, I didn't.
If you talk about the offside meant it wouldn't have been a penalty, as we know.
Yeah.
Penalty thing. I put a video. The video it's on the banter page there.
Okay.
It'd be good to see if you watch his eyes. You can actually tell. You can actually tell how insincere Rogers is when he's talking his way right through it. Till he gets to the point where he says, "And it's offside, so it would have been a penalty anyway." As we know. You're thinking you knew where you were going with this, eh?
See that way running with the when it's offside and then they keep the play going for another 10 minutes before they call it.
Not in that.
Yeah. I thought it's pretty happened to just write it's offside, blow, because we've seen what can happen if they don't. Plus, it's only a matter of time before somebody gets a stupid injury that's not required. I don't understand how the flag just doesn't go up straight away and letting the play develop. Let the play develop. Why? It's offside. You don't need to deal with this.
There's Rebel 86, I think flip-flop will crack before the season's out. I think
Mark said that as well.
I said after the Rangers game, Rebel, the biggest thing we learned after the Rangers game was that he's a half-wit. That's the biggest, when they asked him who's the better team today, who do you think was a better team today with more shots? Fuck off. What's the score? It's behave yourself. He just showed himself to be a half-wit. That was the biggest plus that I took out of the Glasgow Derby. It was that we learnt that Philip Flop was a half-wit.
Even
God,
Bobby
I
think you're correct as
1962,
well.
sorry if you were in earlier there, he's saying that Ederson from Man City get injured with that offside
Aye.
nonsense.
That's right.
It's weird because even she said to me the other day when we were watching the game, why is that so long? And I'm like, it's something to do with need to wait to see what the passage of play brings.
Aye, it's
So-
frightening, but why?
Aye,
Why?
aye.
It's another one of these stupid rules at UEFA. I just don't get it. Just don't get it at all.
On the positive, see when you I watched I watched the highlights. Even I know we're playing nobody against the Bucky Thistle, but I think you could see the trait emerging over the 4 games we did win against Livingston, Hearts, the Rager, and who was the other one? There was the 4 games we
St.
won. You could see again at Bucky. The Bernardo O'Riley interaction, that ball through that ball through for O'Riley for Bernardo's wee chip again, and Manny had won against the St Mirren. You're right, Jerry. That Manny wee lobby against the St Mirren as well. That wee chip against again, but Bernardo, the wee 1-2 that O'Riley plays
for the
with
home goal.
home,
Aye.
fantastic. See Abada as well. You can see this is why I'd be massively. I'd be massively disappointed if Abada doesn't stay, because you see he obviously lays on Kyogo, but the reason he's really on Kyogo is because he's the only winger we got Abada that doesn't cut inside, keeps his width, and it means that the fullback's not getting dragged inside, which just shuts down the space for Kyogo. So I think one, Abada can find him, and 2, he gives you the width that I don't think the other wingers give us. So I'm hoping and praying that even if we don't bring anything in, which would be, it's almost unthinkable, but even if we don't bring him in, at least we don't lose either Abada or O'Riley. Although Abada, there's obviously other factors in there, but I don't think there. I was watching him in the highlights against Bucky Thistle. He's obviously happy enough with his teammates. It doesn't look to me as if he's unhappy at the club. I can understand perfectly why he has the issues that he does have. I remember when we were on after the derby, and I said to you that I always stand beside the North Curve to watch the players coming in, and I remember saying at the time that I was watching the Abada with particular interest. When he could have been, if he'd been any further at the back of the group, he would have been walking around the park, and I didn't see him celebrating either at the St Mirren game either. So I can there's other factors in there with Abada, but I hope he doesn't look unhappy with his team. You seen the reaction he's getting for laying the goal on for Kyogo. He's I think he gives us something special, and I think he could be I think he could play a major part in Celtic winning the league if he stays the second half of the season.
Yep, I agree with you,
It's a good problem to have Abada. I mean, hopefully Kuhn's a better player. Palmer and Magee down the other wing, and then getting back to, we don't need to rely on guys like James Forrest and Mikey Johnson.
Sweet Jesus.
No, but that's I mean, no, but people another winger. We've still got James Forrest and Mikey Johnson. I mean, they were only playing because of injuries again.
Yep.
Yang was only playing because we've spoke about it. Yang was only playing because of injuries and stuff like that.
Sheltick is bang on as well. Kyogo has missed Abada's crosses, absolutely. Even if you watch you watch him again, he finds them, but he keeps that width that you lose when everybody. Abada's an out-and-out winger either, but he's certainly more direct, and he can find. I think he'll find Kyogo more than anybody else will in the second half of the season if he stays.
But I thought the other day when Abada was on as well. We talk about Palmer, how like some of his crosses are maybe a bit what you call askew. I mean, one of Abada's main threats is arriving late at that back post.
Yep.
So,
see him ghosted in.
Even inadvertently, that could work in your favour. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Palmer either hits a cross on the spot, or he's either missing the spot. But that's where Abada. I mean, even my teams he ghosted in that back post against
Fantastic.
Rangers.
In fact, do you know
Two or
who it makes
three.
me think? The last player I can remember thinking was as good as was it, maybe I'll give my age away here. Billy Stark was fantastic at it. Billy Stark
Aye.
could ghost in at the back post, and Abada's just fantastic at it. I mean, he's not really going to dribble. He's not going to carry the ball much either, or really beat a man, but he's certainly that ghosting in. He's a goal threat, no doubt about it. He's a goal threat.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see. I'd be so sad. I'd be so sad to see him leaving, particularly if he left for the reasons that he would be leaving.
The political reasons.
Aye, it's just the boys in a very awkward position. He's got my heart goes out to him. He's only a young laddie as well.
And you don't know as well though, JFP, what's happening in the background. As in I said it before, as his own federation at home, what they're saying to him. You know, no one knows that whether there's pressure been put on him from his home FA to go, listen,
I've got no doubt there is terms, because that Israel manager's a bit of a nutcase. Mind, it's almost him that comes out and talks about Abada want to leave and stuff like that. So honestly, I've got no doubt that Abada's been pressured or leaving Celtic terms. I really don't.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking, because they did come out and say, didn't they?
And he's got to think he's family first, isn't he? We're there.
Yeah, and they did come out and say that they again allegedly they said that they came out and said that they were the reason Celtic got fined.
Aye.
See at that point, that's what the Celtic board let themselves down by their with their silence. Yet again, as they're silent in so many occasions when the accusation of the Celtic support being anti-Semitic. I don't. Whether you agree with the Green Brigade or you don't agree with them, and if I'm Abada, I'm not coming and standing beside the Palestine flag either to get my 40-10 eye. The very same thing, but the board let you down massively. We're not coming out and saying, listen, we've got issues here internally about the right to express your political opinion, but any accusation that the Celtic support as a whole is in any shape or form anti-Semitic is you've crossed the line. A fucking apology is required to you, and that's what the board let you down.
We're taking it further.
100%. There's all seems to be. All it's required for evil to flourish is that a good man does nothing, and sometimes the Celtic board with their silence does you more damage than good, and that's a classic example of it.
Marco, I'll need to shoot my man, okay?
Right, no bother, Jerry. Thanks very much for coming on, bud.
Hail, everyone. All the best.
Right,
good night.
good night, Jerry.
Cheers, Jerry.
Jerry.
See you later on.
Bye.
Take care, guys. Nice.
Big man's own call at work. You know what I mean? Came on. He was sitting in his van. He's like, I'll just sit in my van to turn so that comes on now. I'll get away. That was for 7 o'clock. But John, that things like that really annoy me as well. The things that on the, I mean, when you see what was on across the road, the mentalness that they come out with and stuff, do you know what I mean? But that for me, as you said, John, that's when the board should be coming out and backing the fans and showing them
Absolutely.
that we're united as a club. Right, might be some differences of opinions, political views or anything, but you can't accuse the Celtic support of being, especially someone that's kind of, I mean, it's a big thing, that anti-Semitic, you know, I'm not getting into it. I mean, it's like you talk about the Holocaust and you can lose your YouTube channel, so I'm not talking about the Holocaust, right? But it's just because of that, it's a big, massive thing in the world, and they just seem to, it gets through about and sees if somebody throws that at you, it sticks. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the things that kind of sticks at you, Jerry. John, across the world. Do you know what I mean? You accuse some wee guy, you could accuse some wee guy on Twitter of being anti-Semitic, and the next thing the tweet rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls, and the wee guys maybe no meant anything by some wee kind of innocent comment. It's one of the worst things that you can actually accuse somebody in the world type of thing, isn't it? It's like accusing somebody of being a fascist or something like that. You accuse somebody like of being a fascist, it's a big thing. if you lump a group of people the size of Celtic support and generalise them as being anti-Semitic, for me that's a big thing that the club should have made a kind of statement to back up the fans and the club.
I think you're absolutely bang on. I think it beggars belief that the club didn't come out and nail that on the head. You know, and that was just a horrendous accusation to be made against the support as a whole that we were in any shape or form anti-Semitic. You know, people might have political views on the conflict between Palestine and the state of Israel, but that in no shape or form makes them anti-Semitic.
No.
It'd be such a shame.
It'd be rotten if Abada felt anything like that was forced from out of Celtic, because I've not seen one single Celtic fan say anything bad towards Abada about anything about that kind of stuff. I really haven't.
It's one of the problems in life that there's just no an easy. I've thought about it from every angle. There's just no an easy solution to this one. You know, there's a bit of me thinking, you know, could you not drop the Palestinian flag for a day, right? And then I'm thinking, you know what? That's not the right answer either, because I remember being refused a service in a public house here at one time, and the barmaid walked away because I was younger. I was only 18, and I did what I would never do now. I had a crucifix on, and I'd like to think I wear my crucifix inside now, and I mean inside me rather than outside. But she walked away and wouldn't serve me, and the manager came back and said, "We find that offensive." And my answer to him was, you know what? It's and the guy was an elder in the Church of Scotland, and I said to him, "I thought you were an elder in the Church of Scotland." He says, "I am." I says, "Well, see whether you like it or no." I said, "That man died in that cross for you and me." And I thought, see, if you're offended by it, that's your problem. And that's where I got to with Abada, with that flag as well. I can understand why he doesn't want to go and take his photograph taken beside it. 100%. I can understand why he's at the back of the pile going round the park. I can understand why he's straight up up the tunnel against St Mirren. But at the end of the day, and he's probably a way too young for this, he needs to get to the point where he's his head round about the fact that that's somebody else's political opinion that no everybody, even among the Celtic support, will agree with. But the one thing it isn't anti-Semitic, and it isn't Lyle Abada.
It's not against him,
it is the anti-Lyle Abada, whether you agree with it or whether you don't agree with it. And he's not going to play with a club anywhere in the world that doesn't have a section of their support that is pro-Palestinian, whether maybe not as vocally as they are at Celtic Park, rightly or wrongly. But there's been protests the world over in every city in the world about the atrocities that's been inflicted on Gaza, and that's no unique to Celtic Park. So while my heart goes out to the laddie, I understand his position, and I don't even know if I was him myself whether I would want to be there. But if he's going to go a long way to find a club where there isn't some where there is 100% support for the state of Israel.
I mean, I'm like you, John. I feel sorry for him. You know, I'm 50 this year. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how I would feel about being in that kind of situation, but I mean, the Celtic fans have never gave him any grief, and I wouldn't like any of them to do that. Do you know what I mean? He's a good football player, and for me, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. I mean, it's like Lee Griffiths. I didn't like Lee Griffiths. I thought he was a scumbag the way he treated women and his wains and stuff like that. I was very vocal about that on the forum and that when we signed guys like that. I never liked Chris Commons. There's loads of guys that played for Celtic that I don't like, but I don't like O'Riley Abada. He's not done anything for me not to like him. You know what I mean? It's not. I can't turn and say I don't like him because he's for Israel. Do you know what I mean? For me, he's never done anything to harm Celtic and stuff like that. So I'll support him all the way.
Strange Love the Doctor has said there that I can't imagine any Celtic supporter being anti-Semitic, and I agree 100%. I don't think as a Celtic supporter you're allowed to be racist in any shape or form. And Rebel had said that the Huns are full of Catholics and they listen to the shit they sing. I understand there as well, but they're not in the middle of a live conflict. That might have been a. That might have been more. 100%. If I said if I'm playing for Rangers back in 1981 and 1982, albeit that I couldn't have played for them, but that's another fact that's swept under the fucking carpet. But if I'd have been playing with them in the 1981, not that I ever would have, in 1982, I'm not going up to the Onion Bears and getting my 40 10.
Turning up at
with the Union Jack,
the sash bashes and stuff like that.
100%.
What's your take on it, terms with Abada?
Yeah, just I feel sorry for him. I feel very sorry for him, to be honest. You know what I mean? The whole thing. I'm not I have opinions on it, but it's not something I openly like to discuss in it, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's just it's just too deep. But I think like Abada would have my full back, and he's a Celtic player, and I'd hate to see him go because of anything that's outside of his control. The way I put it easily, and you know what I mean. I'd like to see O'Riley Abada back to the player he was. You know what I mean, and hopefully it would have been nice for Celtic to come out and just say, look, he has our full back and he has our full support. He's a Celtic player. You know what I mean, and that I just want to see O'Riley Abada back playing football for Celtic. That's all I want.
Absolutely,
exactly.
absolutely.
Aye. I don't know. Maybe Celtic fans. You know what I mean? Maybe playing for Celtic, that'll keep his mind off stuff. I mean, he's obviously got family in that involved in the conflict. He's worrying about them and stuff like that. As I've said before, what you touched on there, John, it's like what pressure maybe behind the scenes is he getting on in the presser there and stuff like that. And I would hate for the guy to be kind of used as a kind of political, pawn, into you call it.
It's probably the one time you'd love if Near Beaton was still at the club, if I'm to be perfectly honest.
Aye, but I think I said it to a few folk. I don't know if I've said it to you, Terms, but I thought maybe that even like an Israeli team would maybe come in for him, a kind of government-backed bid. Do you know what I mean? To kind of get him out of Scotland.
The people that's really crossed the line is that's obviously he's emotionally involved in it as well. The Israeli manager had absolutely no right coming out.
He's not done him any.
He's done him. He's not done O'Riley Abada any favours at all.
Do you think he's kind of known the Celtic fans' stance on this for a while, John? Because he's always had a problem with him being at Celtic. This Israeli manager that's always been in the press talking about, he'll be leaving this summer, we've got bids, I've heard there's bids in for him. Any time he's ever spoke about Abada, it seems to be about him he's too good for Celtic, get him out of Celtic.
Mm-hmm. I just think he's the man that he's not done Abada any. If that boy, I don't know the man, but if he did any, if he'd had any brains, he'd have kept his any principles. He'd have thought, listen, I'm only going to make this worse for the laddie if I express my thoughts in that way. As I said, there's a bit of me thinking can we not just leave the Palestine flag out so the boy can come in the stadium? But I understand, irrespective of whether I agree with it or whether I don't, that I respect somebody else's right to express their views. There's other people think it has no place in a football stadium, and I understand that. I understand that argument as well. That takes you down another route that, you know, Celtic and politics is probably just inseparable in so many ways. Albeit, I mean, the Green Brigade and others in that corner at times express opinions that are certainly not my opinions. You know, the club express opinions that are not my opinions. You know, but somehow you need to, as you get older, you need to realise that you need to navigate your way through that. But unfortunately, Lyle's a young man. He's only 20 years of age. Goodness knows the pressure he's under with family.
That's the thing, and that's the thing that gets me about it, John. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I mean, the 3 years, even in terms of an age, we grew up with a kind of Catholic Protestant divide. You know what I mean? And it's basically it's the same type of thing. It's just, I mean, the kind of the telescopes on that part of the world they knew the way it was back in our day on our part of the world with the kind of Catholic and Protestant thing in that. And when you think back on that, to even like young Celtic, even Rangers players and that went through back then and stuff. And you think about it, it's just Celtic fans. I don't believe, I've never, as I said earlier, I've not seen any Celtic fan putting up any kind of argument or any bad talk about Abada. All I've ever seen is that they wanted to see him back in the team and doing what he'd done well. And that's what Celtic's about. Whether they're Catholic, Protestants, Jews, Muslims, Martians, it doesn't matter. As long as you're out in that park, doing their job for Celtic, wearing that jersey, that's all that matters to me. You can disagree about them. As I said, Lee Griffiths, Chris Collins, hated them, couldn't stand them. Even Lee Griffiths saying for us, I was raging, if you made that on the forum. But he scored his great goals, cracking play for us. It went off track from him, but I still wouldn't support him as a Celtic player. You know what I mean? As long as you're running about with that topo, and that's all that matters to me.
You could draw I mean, when one of the songs that comes, I sat next to the guy. I sat next to a non-Catholic for many years at Celtic Park, and he gave it up and he retired and he travelled for Montrose. And one of the things I used to be quite proud to say was that I never ever heard anything in the 20 years I sat beside him that made me cringe. I never heard anything anti-Protestant. I never heard anything anti-Church of Scotland. I heard a lot of political songs that you might agree or disagree with that celebrate a country's fight for freedom. But I never heard anything that was fundamentally at its core anti-Protestant or anti-Church of Scotland. And what I mean by that is the song, "Oh, no Pope of Rome, no chapels to sadden my eyes, no nuns and no priests, no rosary beads. Every day is the 12th of July." That song doesn't have any equivalent among the Celtic repertoire. That's unique to them. Nothing made me prouder than I sat beside the man I sat beside for all the years, and I never heard anything that made either him or me uncomfortable. Nothing makes me prouder that we've got a stand called after our greatest manager that was a Protestant, a man that said Celtic was my first love, but it'll be my last. And that goes for the Scott Browns and the current captain and everybody else that's followed him since. Celtic, when Celtic had their first GM, there was a debate about whether you should need to be Catholic to play for Celtic, or whether the majority of the team should always be Catholic. And that all were rejected. And you've heard Jockstein saying the only requirement to play for Celtic is an ability to play football. Dave King was still getting asked within the last 10
orange strip. That was all he ever bothered about. When was
he was asked within the last 10 years whether he went to is it King? Whether he went to St Margaret Mary's in Castlemilk, or whether he went to Castlemilk High School.
Probably one I went to one, other I went to the other.
That's so. It could be. That's a.
You couldn't know what turning to take.
That's a question that Celtic dealt with at their first AGM, and they're still asking 150 years down the line.
I
Mad.
mean, it's crazy, and the thing about it is, you'd like to think as well, but like younger people are a bit more open. You know what I mean? I mean, younger people. This is been totally off topic, man. This has been mental, right? But it's like even. I mean, I'm not getting into this kind of talk, but younger people they're just more accepting. Oh, this. What gender are you? Oh, I'm a man. I'm a right. You're this. You're whatever you want to be. I'm a cat. Whatever. You know what I mean? But they're still stuck in this that you need to be this pure mad staunch Protestant person. You're a staunch Protestant, but you don't go to church or anything like that. You go to Ibrox. You don't need to go to church. If you go to Ibrox every week, that does you. That's you going to worship your wee orange god. It's absolute garbage. They've just got this mindset that's nobody else in the world is got.
I think you're right. I think amongst the younger people as well, and maybe the younger people across society and the Ibrox. And I was actually disappointed that you we didn't manage to get the debate going with Jeanette, because
we'll get that sorted. It was a Celtic trustee GM, and John, I was not well bed, man, but I thought I was still trying to get it set up, and then she messaged back saying she'd that Celtic trustee GM. But we'll get that done, no bother.
I must go there, Mark. The little fella's crying. Sorry.
All right, no bother. No bother.
No, JSP. Take care, boys.
Cheers.
Good night.
Cheers.
Good night.
Bye, lads. Bye.
Night.
Just give me 2 seconds here to sort this wee man out. Just give me 2 seconds here, Mark. Okay.
No bother. Flying solo now, though. What have we got now? Who are Hibs playing the Aiden? Oh, they're playing them tonight, and what's the score? 2-0. Hibs never turn up against Rangers, didn't they? No. It's not Hibs or Pish. We're in a proper battle this year. We need to sign 2 players at least. Oh, Martin, they're not a battle. Honestly, we'll win this league. There's no doubt about it. They're bounced off a new manager. He's losing the plot. And they'll drop more points than us before noon the end of the season. Guarantee you.
Do you think so?
Oh, aye. Even Gary McAllister said it.
How did they get on there against us anyway?
Oh, they're 2-0 up. 2-0 up to now.
Was it at the Bronx or was it
it's at Easter Road.
Was it in the 2-0 up?
Aye.
See, they've obviously got to. Who did they play before us on Saturday as well, eh?
Honestly, John, I'm a million% confident. I'm not worried about the league.
Mm-hmm.
The only worry for me is again if Kyogo gets injured.
That's why you should never be. That's why you should never be in this position with your striker position now. Let's say, so realistically, if they win, they play at 12 o'clock before us, so it could be 2 points at every time we play in Saturday then, eh?
It's a marathon, but John, it's not a sprint.
No, that's.
I mean, we've played them twice and we've beat them twice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? But right, we've had a few shoddy results ourselves, lost a couple of games, and there was a meltdown. I've said this. See, if I started the forum, but 12, 13 years ago, I started doing the forum and stuff like that. There's this pure cycle with Celtic fans, right? We get a summer window, we're all full of hope. We're either happy or gutted with what's happened. 50-50 split. We play in Europe, we get pumped, everything's rotten, everybody should get sacked. We need to get rid of this, we need to get rid of that. Right? So we're out of Europe. The panic's there. We cruise by to Christmas. We beat them at the kind of New Year game. And everyone's hunky-dory again. Yes, we'll beat them. We're clearing the league. It's January windows open. And again, oh, we need to do this. Oh, we're not doing this. Oh, they're doing this and we're not doing this. And then the window shuts and everything goes back to normal. And we just jog on to the end of the season. And everybody's happy because we're in the league. It's happened for years. It's just like a cycle with Celtic fans' emotions.
I don't disagree with you, and I don't know whether it's just me or the people around about me, but I'm just sensing at the moment a level of disillusionment among the Celtic supporter that I don't think that I've been as acutely aware of over that last years of the cycles. You're right. Pumped in Europe, back out, beat the Huns, top of the league, champions among the bums, all's good. But I'm just fucking sensing a mixture of disillusionment with the lack of leadership, ambition, direction, business acumen from a football perspective, and a lack of ambition and an awareness that we could be so much better than we are. And I don't know. I'm just sensing that among. I don't know if everybody's the same. It'd be good to hear other people's thoughts. I'm just sensing that that's a kind of general feeling.
I agree with you, John, because it's a disappointment again that we've got a chance to get a bigger bite at the cherry and we're not taking it. It's like, do you think Dermot Desmond, like any other company he owns or runs and stuff like that, do you think he would take these kind of results, the kind of performances, results, whatever you want to call it, John, with your kind of level of running companies and stuff, but would you take that kind of level just doing this, just doing that, just doing this, just doing that, year after year after year? Or would you want your people that are working for you to make your company, whatever your company or business is, to make it better? But would you not want them to take that extra step and make it not just better, but one of the best? Does that make sense?
I remember I worked with a company one time, and their strapline when they set out their business development plan for the next 10 years was to be the best in class, and that was their aspiration. But I mean, I don't know anything about Dermot Desmond. If he's not a football man, is he able to? I mean, he's obviously he is the entrepreneur there. You would think somehow he would be able to gauge the gap between where Celtic are and where they could potentially be, even if he wasn't aware of the how good or how bad or otherwise the balance sheet was at the end of the year, in terms of having that footballing understanding.
Right.
You would still think they would have people around about him that would be able to advise them as to the gap between where Celtic are as to where they could be. Because for me, that gap's massive. We're just accepting. There's a few guys on the forum as well, man. They make me want to jump off a dog's house. Fucking back in the board. We're top of the league. We've won 5 trebles, 12 league. You think fucking best league I've ever had. Champion among the bums. That's. I'm not downplaying what we've done, but you're getting to the point. You're thinking they've made more an impact in the last 20 years. We've done nothing in Europe for 20 years. We became, and I'm looking at this. I'm not just talking about that as a disappointment. That for me, as a Celtic supporter, that's only a bit of the reason. I'm a broken record. The bigger reason is because I think, as a business model, how long is this sustainable in terms of one, putting 60,000 people in that stadium to support you generation after generation as you get pumped in Europe, attracting players to come and play with you at that level, to come and get pumped in Europe, to attract managers to come and manage you, to get fucking pumped in Europe. How sustainable is that as a business model, Mark?
But that's what I'm saying, but because they will still come, John. That they will still come, because come next week, Do you know what I mean? Come the end of the season when the games are becoming, oh, we could win the league on Saturday. Nobody remembers about Europe. They forget all about that. That's what I'm saying, John. I've seen it. I've been dealing with Celtic fans for 13 years on the internet. It's a cycle. See, between now and the end of the year, right, when this window shuts, no matter how bad or good it is, right, see, between now and the end of the year, we'll win games. We'll be, oh, we've got to win the league. Oh, we've got to win the league. Yeah, oh, the Scottish Cup. And come the end of the season, we'll win the league. Don't know if we'll win the Scottish Cup. There's a good chance that we might. And then that'll be it. It'll be forgot about. Everything's great. There'll be big street parties in Glasgow and bus parades and streets will get shut off and all the Celtic fans will be doing the Gallagate, pissed out their mind, jumping about mental because we won the league. Then come the summer window, we're back to the paranoia of who we got to sign. We're already qualified for the Champions League. We get into that, we get pumped, everybody's moaning, blah, blah, blah. Then the Champions League, well, the thing about it is, it goes on longer because we need to beat them next Christmas because we've got Champions League games after that if we get into it. You know what I mean? It's just that cycle. They just don't, as long as we're, and it is, even the Celtic fans, the board, we moan about it, we think, oh, the board just want to be one step in front of him. But millions of Celtic fans are happy about that as well. Do you know what I mean? There's millions of Celtic fans that they don't, oh, it doesn't matter, they'll moan about Europe, but as long as we beat them in the league, that's all they care about. And we need to have a bigger view to that. We need to look at the view, right, it doesn't matter, right, we'll win the league, right, but we've got bigger aspirations in that. We've got a bigger vision for that. We want to be a respected European club. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Celtic board and the support need to forget about what's going on at Ibrox and concentrate on what's going on at Celtic.
See what you're talking about is Dermot Desmond no questioning
Daddy Lil.
No question of where we are as a club. If I'm Dermot Desmond, I'm looking at the objective evidence that's in front of me for the last 20 years, and more recently because I've not been there that time. But I'm looking at the moment and I'm thinking, I don't think Michael Nicholson, Mark Lowe, Peter Lowe have got what it takes to take this club where I think it can go. I don't think we're the best we could be, and I don't think these guys are capable of making us the best we could be. And that's the question that I don't understand why that's not going through Dermot Desmond said. Either that or just doesn't give a fuck. I don't know. It'll be a plaything. Somebody said earlier, is it a plaything? It'll be just a plaything.
Exactly, John. That's what I'm saying. You know, that's what I'm saying. But Dermot Desmond, I mean, it's like you were talking about earlier on about give me 10 million and I'll give you 60 million in June or May or whatever it is. As a businessman, why does Dermot Desmond not see the potential taking Celtic to that next step? Why is he not getting? I mean, I'm not getting into that. Peter Lowell's doing, but why is Peter Lowell? Well, basically, he's there with that ECA job and stuff like that.
Surely Dermot Desmond, irrespective of whether he's a football man or not, he'll be a brighter man than me. They'll be capable of processing the fact. Wait a minute here. Many strikers we got. One and a bit that's still to prove themselves yet. One of them's at the Asian Cup. The other one's got a fucking shoulder injury. There's two players in Scotland here. Possibly cost me £3, £4, £5 million a pop. There's £60 million up for grabs here at the fair. If I give them 10, they give me 60 back. Why is he? Surely he's.
It's not his 10. That's what I'm.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
He's only get 35% as well, Mark. You know, he doesn't own Celtic.
No, he's just a majority shareholder, but according to him, we know how that works. But I exactly get what you're saying, but we don't need money off of Dermot Desmond. I've seen people.
You don't get any off of Dermot Desmond.
But we don't need it. That's my point. See if Celtic just spends their own money.
You shouldn't need it.
That's all we need. The money we're generating, and just it's weird that Dermot Desmond, a guy like him that's made billions of pounds, treats a company that's just a business, whether it's a football team or whatever, but any company, he treats it the way he does and holding it back for releasing or realising its potential, you say?
Realised its potential. That's a bottom line.
Realising its potential. You know what I mean? Just Dermot Desmond is majority shareholder. If he clicks his fingers, that's what happens, right? There's no denying that. So what he says is, look, just get us to this next level. All this bank balances. Dermot Desmond should turn around and say at a board meeting, look, there's no reason for a club our size in the bigger picture of European football to be sitting with £70 million in the bank. The clubs down in the pub league in England don't get £70 million sitting in the bank.
So there's strange love. The doctor said, he said, would Apple have become Apple if a lawyer or an accountant was like them? No, and I've made that point repeatedly. That they're accountants, the most two risk-averse professions that you'll find. They're no businessmen. They're no entrepreneurs. You know, in fact, you were the most cash-rich, one of the most cash-rich clubs in Europe. You've said earlier on, if the Huns had 70 million in the bank, how much would they spend? 85?
Aye.
I just don't understand. I find the lack of, obviously for the the season it'll not be named for then on in. We picked ourselves up under the Spurs manager, but I just think the lack of ambition and the failure for not
It's
just recruitment, but broader than that in terms of understanding the bigger picture.
Modernisation, John.
Exactly right. You know,
We thought we were going to get there with Ronnie. We thought we were going to get there with Ange. We're still the same. We're still in the same kind of girdling about in the same fish ponds, isn't it?
We've said it many times. They're a big club, but a successful business, but not a successful football club. Big club, small mentality. We could be so much bigger than that. I mean, you've got a fan base at the moment. You've got a worldwide fan base. You've got a fanatical fan base. They would back the club to their nose was bleeding. As I've said, back to what we said earlier on there. You know, if the direction of travel continues, where you're the whipping boys of Europe, and your only aspiration is to be the champion among the bums in Scotland, I'm not even convinced you can keep bringing 60,000 into the park to watch that. And yet, I'm convinced that with the right level of ambition, the right level of foresight and vision that Fergus McCann had, you would need to develop that part to be something bigger, because you could be so much more on a European and a world stage.
I totally agree. Even, I mean, it's like, right there, Spurs manager, right? We don't want to talk about him too much, but the way the team playing and stuff like that, John, that's the type of games that if it's peeing or rain and you're not going to the game, your neighbour will, give your ticket, I'll go.
100%.
Just to go and see them.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying that you can't, your neighbour, you want my ticket, I'm not going to the game. I'm going shopping with the wife, and you're like, nah, peeing or rain, sit that. I'm not going to sit and watch that. And
We've had it. We've had it.
That.
We've had it. I mean, whether you, I don't speak often about the Spurs manager either. That was then where we were now, but it was you certainly that 2 years you certainly felt that you had the Holy Trinity, as Rogers talks about, the fans, the board, the support, the manager. You felt as if everybody was pulling in the same.
It was a bit Martin O'Neillish, wasn't it? It was that kind of feeling.
Whereas
under Martin O'Neill, everybody was in there. The fans, the manager, and the staff, the board, and everything were bought into what Martin O'Neill was doing. Aye.
That's lost, you know. Just what the point you're making there, the wee place we go for a pint and the way into the game, we've at times haven't been able to give away a ticket. Too cold, you know, a free ticket for the game can't get away. So I just think they're so short-sighted and so many, not just in the immediate perspective in terms of failure in Europe, etc. and recruitment. I'm talking about so much bigger than that in terms of the sustainability of your business model, fundamentally.
filling that stadium, John, this ticket exchange scheme, it's unbelievable that they've not got something like that going.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I mean, if they can set one up, and I think a lot of the public teams have got it going as well, why Celtic haven't got it going is just pure absolute short-sightedness.
I would be happy if somebody that wasn't even working could get my ticket, and I don't need to get in back for it. And there'll be loads of folk the same. It doesn't just get to somebody so that if I can't make it, somebody's in my seat with a green and white scarf on.
Aye, that's what
I mean, it might otherwise not get a chance to do that, eh?
I know the Rangers ones, they pay a certain percentage of the ticket, you get a few quid back after the price, but all you have is like a ticker box. Do you want your £20 back, or do you want to give your ticket for free? Tick a wee box, I'll give you for free. Do you know what I mean? It's just said guys that to maybe no afford to take their Windsor that way, them and that just can take them and have a great day out and make memories. There's another new wee Celtic fan born and bred.
That's right. Yep.
As it's the way the full club is just shocking. It's the way it's run.
We'll wait and see what the next 6 days. But I mean, I'm expecting it day 24, which I was expecting day 1 was hee-haw, eh?
I would see, because of that winter break thing. I mean, I get pure confused with that. I thought it was an international break. I kept getting mixed up, thinking we're always going to be back for the Bucky Thistle game because it was just what's an international break. But because of that break we had, I thought, there's no point in bringing players in and having them just sitting about a house or a hotel somewhere in Glasgow. But I mean, I was expecting last Monday to kind of trigger to get pulled on a couple of deals.
It's almost, as I said to you, it's almost unfathomable that you are here, but you should be. The old statement with the Celtic board, you should be getting to the point you're thinking, you know what, half a day pulls off your cared before, eh? You should be getting to the point nothing, no level of incompetence, lack of ambition, or just gross negligence should be surprising you. As I said, I find it.
I always try to kind of look at the bright side, but I mean, that just said we're on the 24th now. Do you know what I mean? It's getting a bit iffy. Do you know what I mean? Evening. Good night, Dr. Strangelove. Thanks for coming in, mate. Nice to see you, bud.
Another doctor away. I seen somebody asking Dr. Falladay if he could write a prescription out for a striker. I thought that was quite good today. I'll need to be heading anyway. So hopefully, that's 2.5 hours. Aye, so the main thing. Let's see where they get to. They'll be no doubt there'll be 2 points in it by the time we get to play. Get another 3 points in Saturday.
Sign 3 players for next week.
I've resigned myself, Mark, that we're going to need to win the league with what we've got. Which I find is, which I agree with. I think
if Kyogo stays fit, we're fine.
Well, see, but Buzz had said as well. See with the Japan and the Japan and Korea thing, but apparently one or the other should be back with us again. Is that right? Because we've got Aberdeen and Hibs to play. But I think one way or another, you should either have Tati and Maida back, or you should have O back. I think that's where Buzz was coming from, was it?
Aye, depends who. I think Japan were meant to be one of the favourites and struggled on what I was seeing. But again, John, really, is it that big a deal? If Kyogo stays fit, we'll get by.
If he stays fit.
Aye, but this transfer window, I definitely do think we do need a striker. But talking about like Shankhill and Majovsky and that, I don't see why any of the two would come in to sit and be setting fiddle to Kyogo. Do you know what I mean? If Shankhill's want to go to this Euros with Scotland, he's want to be playing every week, starting with hearts and stuff like that.
if I was Mayoski, I'd be thinking I might be second fiddle to Kyogo, but I'm better than O. That's what I would be thinking.
But he'd still only be getting like, what, 20 minutes, half an hour every game, because Kyogo's still going to be the number one unless he gets injured.
At one time we had Hearts and Larson and Sutton and kept them all happy. Do you know, it's you're not telling me we need to run with one strap. I thought what was massively telling, as I said, is when Rodgers said it's a hard sell bringing somebody in to play second fiddle to Kyogo. You say that's right. That is a hard sell, Brendan. You should be bringing somebody in to be better than Kyogo to pick Kyogo on the bench, which we've said there's no position in that team that you couldn't improve upon. Everybody lumps into Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor's just one of 11 positions that you could improve on.
Aye, I'd say that as well. Their Chelsea and Japan went through.
They went through. What does that mean then?
I've not got a clue. I've not been following it. But does anybody know what that means?
Does that mean that South Korea have they went through? Does that mean that O and Yang are on their way back? Don't know. I'm not sure what that means. That's one for Buzz.
I mean, international football, Neymar, where it is, it's not something I take much interest. Obviously,
No,
when that's Shevchenko played for Northern Ireland.
No, I've quite enjoyed the last wee while. When it seemed as a laddie, I loved watching the English football. You know, the backbone of a lot of English teams, Man United, Liverpool, were generally Scottish anyway. But no, I can't for the life of me. With a gun in my head, I can't watch it. But I've quite enjoyed watching some of the lower league stuff, Scottish stuff on a Friday night. Some of the Friday night stuff, Sean.
Right, aye.
It's great. I don't know if have you seen is it the Arbroath, the boy that commentates on the Arbroath games? The absolute. The Patters. That's it. Well, you must have heard them saying, "Jeezy peeps, man." No, you not heard that? Jeezy peeps, man.
Oh, I've seen that on Twitter and that. Right,
aye. When Dunfermline beat me, says, "You think? You wonder how this will translate in England?" He says, "Aye. Congratulations to the fishes. You pumped. There's no twa doots." You know, no twa doots. It's a different, absolutely brilliant. Jeezy peeps, man.
That fash pattern.
Aye, that's his fash fan night for me tonight. Yeah, the good lady went there. Aye, the good lady had to get there and catch the fash fan there for my smoked fash. I'm just about to have them, Mark.
At this time.
Aye, I've not had them because I was on here, so I've got twa smoked fash to have here.
Yellow.
No, because they're peat smoked. See, because they're peat smoked, they're white. They're no yellow. The yellow's just a dye. When you get them like that and they're yellow, they're just a dye.
I can't eat it if it doesn't turn the milk yellow.
Is that right?
Aye.
It's just it tastes.
It's in my head. It's in my head, and I've been on about it to my mum. I've been on about it to Jack for years, man. I can't eat it if it doesn't turn that milk yellow. It just looks weird as anything to me.
It's just a dye. So when it's peat smoked, it's still sweet and there's almost a right kind of smoky, peaty smell of it. It's absolutely magic, eh? Can't beat it. So anyway, it's good to be back on tonight anyway and get the crack.
We'll let you go get your flack.
I thought, let's hope if we don't get a. It'd be great. What would be right now? I would settle for a striker in the door, irrespective of who it would be, and keep my hoodie O'Riley and Abada, because I think if you get back, even if you watch, you're only playing Bucky Thistle. If you get back and you see even the last couple of games, if you see what Abada brings to the team in terms of the width he keeps for you, because he doesn't get dragged inside finding Kyogo. Shell was right saying that Kyogo's missed missed Abada finding him. I think he would have a massive part to play in the second half of the season. And God willing, the lad he gets the support to still be playing with a green and white jersey in his back.
Well, I don't think O'Riley or Abada's going anywhere, at least in this one day. I really don't.
I hope you're right.
just even down to the fact, just that 6 month loan by O'Riley, just you'd laugh, any club's got to laugh that out the window asking for. It's Terence said asking for Griezmann for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? One of your best players.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'll let you go and get your fish then, John. Thanks very much for coming on, bud.
Thanks everybody else for being on as well. It was good to be on, and apologies for my negativity about the board, but that's what it
Will
is.
stole a fiver out his pocket one day when he was a boy.
I know. Right.
Right, good night, John.
Crack on, right. Good night and God bless. Cheers, guys.
Right, tell the missus we were asking for her, mate. Right.
I will
good
do.
Night.
I will
God
do.
bless.
Right. Good night. Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Right, thanks everybody that's joined us in the live chat. Everybody that listens back. Hope you enjoyed it. Just mad guys talking a lot of nonsense. That's the night, to be honest. We'll be back on Sunday night, hopefully, and hopefully we'll get signed maybe another 3 or 4 players. Hail, hail, good night, and God bless.